So we got the biggest sleeper teams in the Eastern Conference, and I believe that this team will come from the Southeast Conference or the Southeast Division. That's going to be the division we speak on today. We're going to deep dive and talk about each team from this division and ultimately which team in this division will go the deepest in the playoffs. They have three sneaky sleeper teams that could potentially do it, and two other teams that haven't really been too good for a while. But who knows? They got young talent, and they could turn the corner this season. Fellas, Big Ox, chill. What's going on, y'all?
I just got one question before we get started, Ron.
What's up? What's up? Talk to me, chill.
Are we going back to Toronto? Are we done?
We're not going back to Toronto.
Are we going back to Toronto, Ron? Is there any reason for us to go back to Toronto?
We won't be back in Toronto.
So
we have.
So
hey,
you
look,
are going back this next season. That's what you're talking
we are up 2-0 right now. For those who don't know, the Seattle Mariners are up 2-0 on the Toronto Blue Jays. We have 3 games at home with 2 of our 3 best pitchers. 2 of the 3 best pitchers in the MLB. All we have to do is win 2 out of 3 games. It's not going back to Toronto.
It's a wrap. So we're not going back up there. All right.
Hey, Ron, your pitcher, he showed cojones last night.
Logan
Big
Gilbert.
ones.
Yeah.
Big.
There was 2 on, 2 outs. Man, he was throwing it all around the box. Then those last 3, take that. Take that. Vladimir starts swinging. I was like, what? What are you doing? Stop pitching to him.
Hey, Big Ox. They call him Walter White. Hey, they call him that for a reason. But fellas, let's go ahead and get into it. We got the Southeast Division. This is a division I've been waiting to talk about for a very long time because it's going to be some shaking and moving in this division. Now, we got the Orlando Magic, who a lot of people are very high on. I've heard people say that they'll even finish as the best team in the East. Mm-hmm. We got another team in the Atlanta Hawks, who a lot of people are high on. I've even heard people say they're the best team in the East. Myself, when I talk to myself in the morning time in the mirror. And then we have the Miami Heat, who they've shown a history of being a sleeper team and making it to the NBA Finals. I don't know if that's the case this year, but they did it twice with Jimmy. Now they have a new iteration with some young pieces. They still got Tyler Hero, Bam Adebayo. We will talk about them. Eric Spoelstra is their coach as well. Then you have the Charlotte Hornets. You can say they've been a poverty franchise, but they got some intriguing pieces, y'all. So we'll get into the Hornets. Damn. And then last but not least,
weak as hell. Weak as hell. The words of my man, Big Ox.
And last but not least, we got the Washington Wizards, who they have young talent, and we'll leave it at that. But
they got CJ and Chris though. They're not.
They do. So they do got some vets. Mm-hmm. And so I think we're gonna have an interesting and a good conversation about the Washington Wizards and what they actually can realistically do this year, and even just moving forward as well. But fellas, before we get into anything, a couple things. I want to shout out our Trailblazers. This is what Swiper calls you guys, so I think this is you guys' new names from here on out. But the Trailblazers are the people who were in the comment section the most yesterday and made the most noise. This is the top fans highlighted by YouTube. Yes, these are analytics right here, y'all. Even the chat has analytics. Shout out to Dub Basketball. The first one is 43 Productions, had 1,000 XP points. He came number 1, he or she, whoever that may be. My man Jonathan Frazier came second with 500 XP points. And then my dog E-Word came in third with 375. Shout out Hunter TV coming in 4th. And shout out Bob Solo, Cowboy Bob, coming in 5th place. Shout out to all the Trailblazers and the people that are making things shake and move in the comments, all the people that are super chatting, all the people that are liking the video, all the people that are subscribing, and on top of that, just regular comments. All of that gets factored in. So shout out to them.
Hold on, Ron. Let's get our terminology right, though, brother. Let's get our terminology right. When it's these type of analytics coming from here, that's called chatskiball.
Dub chatskiball.
Dub chatskiball.
I like that. Chatskiball, yes, sir.
Also
I'm loving that.
Chill, we got a super chat for you specifically. Tupac Westside said, "Morning, Chill. I got the Magic winning the division. Also, I just want to say I lived the Wayne's Bros. I love the Wayne's Bros. But I agree that their comedy got old after a while, especially in the later years. X Haunted House. Example, the Haunted House.
Yeah. I was more of a fan of Keenan. I thought Keenan was there was some more substance to his comedy. The Wayans brothers. I mean, it never really evolved with me. It just seemed like it was high school. It was clown stuff. And it was just like cracking on people and being funny, which don't get me wrong, I think that's funny for a specific time, but after a while it get corny. And I thought
y'all not giving out enough credit. It's very few people that could do it, that can put on the type of show that they could put on, the way that they act. Like they got that improv type of comedy where you could just tell them that this is what the scene's gonna be about, and they'll they don't even need a script. They'll just clown it out the whole time.
I'm good.
If it wasn't for Pops being on that show, and if it wasn't for the Mom from Friday on that show, that it would have been unwatchable for me. The younger two brothers, man, I just can't get with it.
I was trying, Ox.
If it wasn't for Mars being on the show, you and Chill would be unwatchable.
Shout out to Mars, man.
For real.
Hey, that boy good.
For real. Shout out to Mars.
What's good, Mars Blackman? How you living today?
Amazing.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
don't blow us over with
chat.
Enthusiasm, Mars. Don't do that.
Mars, don't do that.
I gave you an amazing. That's more enthusiasm than I've shown in like 2 months.
Absolutely.
All right, well, chat, I'm going to let you guys dictate which team you guys want us to talk about first. The team that gets the first 5 comments, you just drop the team, whether it's the Hornets, the team that gets mentioned the first 5 times will get talked about in the Southeast Division.
Ron, I feel like this division is very much like the Atlantic Division, where there's some sleeper teams in here, but there's some teams in here that I think are going to be really good that we're not paying attention to. Like for me, like I said to you guys last year, when we talked about the Trailblazers, like we got late in the season and they were only like maybe 2 or 3 games away from a play-in spot. I think Washington's going to be better than you guys think they're going to be. I don't think that they're a playoff team. I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say that they're a playoff team. I think they're going to be a lot more competitive than you guys think that they're going to be. I wouldn't be surprised if late in the year they're closer than a lot of you guys think that they are. I'm not saying that this is a 35, 40 win team. I'm not going to go that far, but I think that they got some pieces over there where I think they can be really competitive. I was watching the Knick game last night, and I know how Mars kind of has a little bit of a soft spot for Marvin Bagley, and I'm watching him. He looked pretty good around the rim. He did look pretty good around the rim. Don't get me wrong. Their front line, no Mitchell Robinson there last night, no Cat there last night. So they took advantage of a lot of their second unit guys, but it looks like they on to something in Washington. I don't know what's going on with Alex Sarr. I still haven't figured out like why he hasn't been playing in the preseason. Is he hurt or something like that? I don't know what's going on with him, but I like what they're doing in terms of putting something together. I think this kid AJ, he looks like he could be a consistent bucket getter for them. My biggest issue,
AJ Johnson.
AJ Johnson. That's it.
Oh,
yeah. Don't let Drench hear you say that shit.
Yeah, AJ
Alex Sarr played the game before last night, so not the last one, but the one before.
So that's why he didn't play last night. He just got rest. I thought there was something wrong with him. Okay, but Bub looks like there's some improvement there. Like it looks like his decision making has gotten a little bit better, especially with his strong hand. I saw him getting guys on his hip during that pick and roll and knowing how to, navigate. I like that about him. I think this Washington team is going to be a lot better than people think that they're going to be. And like I said, I'm a big fan of Alex Sarr. I think Alex Sarr takes a step this season and becomes an even better defender. And he's not in that conversation with Mobley and Wemby and those guys, clinging. But I think one day he will be. I think he could be that good.
I might have just been a season too early on Washington.
That's what I was going to say.
Might have been. I think with CJ McCollum and Chris Middleton over there, I think those are good leaders for that young squad. Yeah. I don't think they're going to be a good basketball team, but in the East, you don't necessarily have to be good to get that 10th seed, that 11th seed.
Yo,
I have
fellas,
them as my 15 seeds, so I'm just putting out. So.
before we dive too deep into
spoiler alert.
Before we dive too deep in
the
Washington,
worst team in this division.
I promised the chat the first 5 teams that get mentioned. That's the team that we'll start with, and it didn't happen to be the Wizards. Unfortunately, you lose again, Washington. But a losing team actually won it, and it is the Charlotte Hornets. So let's dive into the Hornets and talk about what are our expectations, what we think they'll do this year. They do have some intriguing pieces too. I would like to talk about their pieces, and ultimately, can they take that step forward? Before we do that, my man Gary Singh said, "Yo, Mars, love your smile. Go on ahead and smile for us, just like that." There you go, Gary. You got what you want.
Mars, Ron, I don't think people are digging the Charlotte Hornets more than a folklore hero that they have down there in LaMelo Ball. That's really what they want to talk about. I don't think it's Charlotte. Yeah, he's
a
one
myth,
of them dudes.
apparently. Yeah, he doesn't exist.
That's what they really want to talk about. They want to talk about the dude with the tween, with the one-legged threes, with the throwing the ball behind his back and the flash, which leads to nothing, by the way. We're going nowhere with this stuff, right? We're going absolutely nowhere.
Be entertaining.
Oh, absolutely. It's 100% box office, no doubt about it. But in terms of us actually going somewhere, we're not going anywhere with it, because if you're going to play basketball the right way, right? If you're going to play basketball the right way, you can play basketball with tween and throwing the ball behind your back, but it can go somewhere. And this isn't going anywhere with him. It's not. So I think LaMelo Ball maybe is playing out of position, but even with him with the basketball, I think his decision-making could be better, and it's not. I think his shot selection could be better, and it's not. I think on defense, he is average when he's locked in. I think he's average when he's locked in. Yes.
Chill.
Average.
I know just this Sunday or Saturday, we were in a group chat and we were talking, and I said, championships aren't the goal for every team in the NBA. You know what I mean? And the Hornets are definitely one of those teams. I think we got to start changing the chemistry of our brain. You know what I'm saying? We got to start looking at things a little different. We got to get with the times. I mean, I know I tried last season, but this season, I guarantee I will do it. We got to just start understanding that sometimes, entertainment is enough. You know what I mean? It's the big 2-5. It's 2025. Like, winning, there is no right way to play basketball. You know what I mean? Like,
there's always a right way to play basketball, Ox. Yes, there's always a right way.
Kids,
yes.
It's entertainment. Entertainment is cool.
Yes.
Are you trolling right now?
Argue that point.
I'm trying to get with the times, Ron. LaMelo Ball, like Marcia said, it's entertainment. You know what I mean? Like, he's doing this thing.
So you're trying to get with the time by trolling like these kids on Twitter.
I'm just trying to look at it from a different angle. Like, everybody was saying he was playing with Taj Gibson last year. I mean, that's a fact. You know what I mean? Like, what do we expect from this kid? You know what I mean? We've been seeing the same. We've been seeing the same thing since he was a freshman in high school. I mean,
and that's the problem, Ox. That's the problem right there. That's the problem. So if this is who he is, right? If this is what he's about, then I bet I'm just going to take it for what it is. LaMelo Ball is extremely entertaining. LaMelo Ball is definitely box office. Is that going to lead to winning? Nah, but I can tell you what, you all going to sell jerseys. You all going to sell tickets. You definitely going to do that. You might not be on TV a lot.
They can't win down there. And LaMelo Ball is a good basketball player. Even if we think it's not necessarily the right way to play, he's still a good basketball player. I mean, we can all admit that. We can admit that LaMelo Ball is extremely talented. He's a good basketball player. He might not pass it when we want. He might shoot shots we don't like. But we got to get a kid some type of credit.
And I'll definitely give him some credit, Ox. Don't get me wrong. He is entertaining. I'm not going to argue that point. But when you're trying to build something around somebody like that and it's not going well, I do have to look at the person. I do have to look at the foundation. And what's the foundation? The foundation is LaMelo Ball. Now, LaMelo Ball ain't the reason why Brandon Miller got hurt. No, that's not his fault. He ain't the reason why Mark Williams got hurt. That's not his fault. However, when we building something around you, he did play with these guys, right? So being a better distributor does help those guys become better players. being a better ball handler, taking better care of the basketball, being a better decision maker does help those guys become better. Because again, even though he is entertaining, we are trying to win here, Ox. This is not a situation where we just showing up and we just here to sell tickets. We are trying to win because at some point,
chill. I think you're right to an extent, though. To an extent, the business of Charlotte, they got to do something about their ticket sales. Obviously, winning helps, right?
Sure.
Obviously, winning helps. Now, obviously, LaMelo Ball helps too if he's doing all that crazy stuff and he plays well. My thing is, I don't have a problem with nothing you or Ox is saying. I agree with both of y'all. My thing is, if you're gonna let LaMelo Ball do all that crazy stuff, just let him do it after somebody passing the ball, not when he brings the ball up the court. And from what I saw, it looked like they've been running Colin Sexton on the ball, Melo off the ball a little bit. And I like that because Sexton can get busy. Sexton is a 3-level scorer. Well, the 3-point line a little bit all right, but he can get busy, and he's a good distributor as well too. He's not the best, but he's a good distributor as well too. I mean, I've been saying it. I think I said it at the beginning of the summer that LaMelo Ball is just not a point guard. He's just a 2 guard. Like, the bottom line, I think we'll feel better about his game if we saw him as a 2 guard. I feel like, he can pass the ball, but him playing the 1 all game long with the urge, he got like this one urge, like a kid when you a small kid, you just want to touch stuff. You just got to do something bad. That's how LaMelo Ball is when he got the ball. Like, he just itching to shoot a 1-leg 3 or itching to shoot a step back 3. I think that's just let him play the 2 guard and it'll be okay. I think he'd be so much better. 2 or 3. He tall enough to play a 3 too. But
so with that being said, do we change the offense? Okay, because if I'm putting I got Sex at the 1, right? So if I got Sexton at the 1, who also is a bucket getter, right? I got Sexton at the 1. Focus, Mars. I got Sexton at the 1, who is a bucket getter, right? I got LaMelo Ball, who is also a bucket getter. And then I got Brandon Miller, who is also a bucket getter. How are we navigating this offense? And I also got Bridges. Is Bridges going to play the 4? Is he going to play the 3?
He should.
Is Brandon Miller going to play the 3? Is he going to play the 4? How are these guys, 1, going to coexist? 2, how are we going to navigate this offense with having a guy in Colin Sexton who can pass, but is more. I think he's more of a score first guard. So I got 2 score first guards in the backcourt. That's what I have. I got one who will compete on defense, and I got another who is a turnover machine in LaMelo Ball. So
damn, you gave one person credit and just discredit the other person.
So the question I'm asking is how are we going to navigate this offense? Because now because I think Nurkic is Nurkic down there now? No, Nurkic is in Utah.
Nurkic is in Utah, yeah.
Yeah, Nurkic is in Utah. I just watched them last night when they played against Dallas. So Nurkic is in Utah. So who do I have in my front court in Charlotte? That's the biggest question that I have now.
Even so, they got Mars's guy, Diabate or Diabute or Diabooty. They got Mason Plumlee. Damn. Tijon Salon
looking kind of whack. Is that what you're saying?
Grant Williams.
Oh boy. Who coming off the ACL? Yeah, by the way.
Yeah, Grant Williams.
They got Cockburner. Ryan Cockburner.
They do.
Yes, Cockburner, who that's the guy that the Celtics passed on, they made a mistake passing on him.
So Cockburner, Diabate, and Mason Plumlee is what it looks like their 5 position will look like. And then hold on, how long is Grant Williams out?
Well, he got hurt last year.
Yeah,
he tore up his ACL last year. So
okay,
we'll see when he comes back.
Yeah, at the 4, it'll more than likely look like Miles Bridges and Tijon Salon. So that's kind of what their front court's looking like, essentially.
Yeah.
But my bigger question is because Jordan's saying he should play point guard.
No, Jordan's saying he should play off the ball.
Shooting guard. My bad. I'm sorry. Shooting guard.
Yeah, he should play shooting guard.
So they got Spencer Dinwiddie and Colin Sexton.
Spencer Dinwiddie cool at the 1 too.
Spencer's cool too, but Jordan, for like him to play off ball like that, it's gonna really have to be somebody that comes in. And I'm not saying that they're better than him, but somebody's gonna really have to be able to command the offense like that. Like even like when Hadley plays off ball, it's because they got Nembhard. You know, it got to be somebody that comes in and can take the ball out of his hands and make positive things happen. I'm not saying they got to be a 20-point per game scorer. I'm not even saying they got to average double-digit assists, but they got to be able to construct the offense. You know,
I think the biggest part is it's not so much about playing point guard. You know, today they don't use traditional point guards anyway. Somebody come in and set the table. I just think LaMelo, like they can't rely on LaMelo Ball to make all the plays for them. That's in my opinion. Like I feel like he made so much of their offense last year, and they wanted him to do that, and I just don't think that's a good idea for the way that he plays. Like, not saying that he can't do it, I just can't see him doing it long term at a high level. For the Charlotte Hornets to win, I just think they just need him to just focus on getting buckets, what he's good at, and he's a good passer too. But we don't need him to go out there and try to be the best passer on the floor or the best playmaker on the floor. I just think we just need him to go out there and score the ball, do what he do best. Like, he make big shots. You know, he get busy, he get buckets, and because of that, he will make good passes when the defense start to commit to him. But when they're only using him as a pick and roll ball handler and nobody else on the team can create plays, I think that's where you get in trouble with LaMelo Ball.
Yo, so I just ran a poll and I asked you guys these things. And Mars, I would like to ask you, after I tell the people what the poll is, what do you think is the most likely to happen? What will LaMelo Ball do this season? Will he be top 5 in the NBA in scoring? Remember, he got off to a hot scoring start last year. I think he was averaging like 27 or 28 for a moment in time, and that obviously fell off. The next thing is lead the Hornets to the playoffs. Next, be an all-star. Or fourth, or D, none of the above. Mars, what do you believe is most likely to happen? And ultimately, what's your expectations for just LaMelo Ball as an individual?
The most likely, probably be an all-star, if I had to guess. Because the fan voting is going to be very on his side if he's healthy. I don't see them making the playoffs. I don't see that happening. Top 5 in scoring in the NBA is possible. So if I had to rank them, I'd say being an all-star would be number 1. None of the above would be number 2. Top 5 in scoring would be number 3, and then leading them to the playoffs would be number 4. That's probably where I'd have it. I also think LaMelo is a better passer than you guys are giving him credit for.
No, he's a good passer, Mars. He's a really good passer. I just don't think he just want to be. He's not a willing, like, he doesn't want to pass that much. Like, he just don't want to do that, and you can just see it in his game. Like,
Mars, you fight that? Like, if you let him go for 50, he'll do that every night. Like, if you let him go for 30 every night, like, he'll do that. I don't think he wants to be the primary distributor. I think if you let
him get 20 assists, he'll get 20 assists.
I don't think he wants to do that, Mars.
We'll take the word let out then. Don't take the word let out then. I'm saying, what do you think he would rather do? That. Score 50 or get 20 assists?
I think he'd rather do both.
Yeah,
I'm with. I don't know why both isn't an option.
It's not an option because we're trying to.
I don't know why it's not. If we're talking about LeBron James, it's perfectly fine to say he'd want to do both.
No, but we'll say LeBron. I mean, I don't know. I think that's a myth, though, about LeBron not being.
Yeah, I don't buy that. I'm not saying LaMelo is pass first. I'm also not saying LeBron is pass first. What I'm saying is I think they want to do both. That's what I'm saying. I think the answer is both. I don't think the answer is he'd rather score 50 and not pass the ball, or he'd rather pass the ball 100 times and not shoot. I think he wants to do both.
Because even if he does want to do both, Mark,
I also think he's a better passer than a scorer. So there's that.
So if he wants to do both, because we've seen guys in the game that are very good at a lot of different things. There's something that they want to do more of, and there's something that they do more of. Whether I'm more of a bucket getter, I'm more of a distributor. I'd much rather get you guys involved in the offense more than I'd rather score. Not to say that I can't score, but I'd rather get you guys more involved in the offense. I think LaMelo Ball can pass. I'm not on the fence saying that LaMelo Ball can't pass, because I do think that he can pass, even though I think his decision-making is a little bit shaky. And he could be a turnover machine from time to time. But I think he would rather score.
Most of his turnovers come from him just doing way too much. That's just my opinion. Like, a lot of them, like, when I watch him turn the ball over, it comes from him just doing a lot. Like, stuff he don't have to do. And then he just try to make a crazy play. Like he's one of those. It's kind of hard to describe in basketball. He's one of those players that kind of like they can only make the first option pass, and he's really good at that first option pass. When it comes down to
You mean like
improvising,
Derek White? You mean like Derek White on a pick and roll, that one read, that's it?
I mean, Melo's a little bit better than that. But when it comes down to improvising, like, maestro in the defense, like, and making the defense do something, that's not LaMelo Ball. I think people are just overly fanned out about LaMelo Ball, that they delusional about some of the talents that he have. Like, he is a good basketball player.
Was you like 4 months ago?
Yeah, I know. I admitted to it. That's what I said. I admitted to it that, like, I made a mistake. I had no problem coming back and telling you I made a mistake. Like, I went and watched it. I'm dead serious. Like, he's not a maestro at point guard. Like, he's a good passer. He has the ability to make a lot of passes on the floor. He don't manipulate the game well at all. Like, because he's not trying to. That's what I'm saying. He's just not trying to. He's trying to score, and then when that's not there, he has the ability to flip a left-hand pass across the court just because he's gifted at that. But he's not trying to manipulate the game like a real point guard, like a Tyrese Halliburton. And I don't even think Tyrese manipulated a lot. I think just that system and that offense helps him out. But Tyrese do it a lot more than LaMelo do. Like, he ain't TJ McConnell manipulating the defense. But he's a good passer. Like, overall, he's a good passer. It's just I just don't think he's a maestro.
I think that's the thing, though, Jordan. I believe Melo does. I think LaMelo. Hey, when y'all call him Melo, but I think LaMelo Ball does have the ability to make.
I expect.
Yeah, I think LaMelo has the ability to make something out of nothing because he is very talented. He's tall. He can see over. He can see defenses. He can see different angles, and he's not afraid to try things. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like point guards that aren't afraid. They're not going to be, I might throw a turnover, but he'll throw that pass. You know what I'm saying? And I think that shows how talented he really is. I think we got to just give him a little time. He's had injuries in his young career, and he's just kind of just out there, feeling, just playing all vibes. I think when stuff breaks down, LaMelo has the ability to make something out of nothing, and you got to do that. I think that's playmaking. I've said that before. I think playmaking is when stuff folds around you and you can still make something happen. And I've seen him do that so many times. So I'm high on his talent. I'm high on his ability. Sometimes I just think he just doesn't think things all the way through. But even when he does do that, we've seen him, like I said, we've seen him make stuff out of nothing. So
yeah, like I said, I think we kind of like maybe talking past it a little bit. Like I said, he's a good passer. I guess the right word is he don't really make great. Like, he doesn't make the best decisions. Yeah,
So,
he just doesn't make the best.
That is instinct. That's what I'm saying. That is instinct.
Yeah,
he might not know exactly what he's going to do next, but he's going to make something happen anyway. And I think that's a good.
But good or bad though, when you say make something happen, he can make something bad happen too.
I mean, that's everybody. You know what I'm saying? Anything can happen.
He a little bit more than everybody.
He's not Chris Paul. I don't think anyone's making that argument. But I do think he's a point guard. I think he's a point guard.
In today's game.
I don't think so.
Sure, if that makes sense.
That's what I mean, Mars. Just in today's game, like the way the game is played.
I think he's
today.
the best bet they have to initiate offense for them. And I
Yeah.
think the eye test will show that. I think the numbers will show that. Whatever you want to look at will show that the Hornets offense is better with LaMelo in command of it. I also think that the reason why he has as much control as he does, which you maybe don't like, is because no one else on the roster is good enough to take any sort of burden away from him. I don't think that's a LaMelo problem. I think that's a Hornets problem. If Brandon Miller was a competent self-creator, that would take burden away from LaMelo Ball, but he's not right now. So you need to.
They one and the same to me when it comes to that, though. They pretty much the same. Like I got to a point.
One and the same?
Brandon Miller and LaMelo Ball, when it comes to like self-creating, like to me, it's one and the same. It's
just
about
wholeheartedly
rather.
Yeah,
I'm not doing
It's just about what you rather tolerate. It's about what you rather tolerate.
Yeah, I just think Brandon Miller is terrible at creating.
Yeah, but Drench, you gotta look at it this way too, though. So
I think LaMelo Ball is terrible at a lot of things too. He's just flashy.
He can
be terrible at a lot of things. That doesn't mean
LaMelo can't shoot like people think he can shoot. He can't shoot, but he shoot a lot of shots. What is that?
A lot of bad shots too.
I don't agree with that statement.
What don't you agree with?
You said LaMelo Ball can't shoot.
Not really. He can't.
I disagree with that statement. I'm just letting you know. You asked why I disagree with. I'm letting you know. That's
Mars, is it his shot selection or he cannot shoot? Because I think his shot selection is a little tricky.
No, but
My
what about
eyes
his
tell me
numbers that tell you he can shoot?
My eyes tell me he can shoot. That's like saying Trae Young can't shoot because his 3-point percentage ain't crazy.
No, I'm not saying that he.
Trae
I'm
Young
not
just
saying that
shot
he can't shoot.
34% from 3. I'm pretty sure LaMelo shot the same percent. But we're not gonna dare open our mouth and say Trae Young can't shoot.
But I wouldn't know. But I be
What
getting on people a lot. I be getting on people a lot.
33.9 and 34%. Both of them, I think, can shoot.
Yes,
the hell
okay,
out
but I be getting on people a lot when people say Trae Young is just this dominant shooter too. I don't think so at all either, though. I think Trae Young has showed
That doesn't
stretches
mean he
where
can't
he
shoot.
makes shot. I think he can show stretches where he makes shots, like big game shots. But for LaMelo Ball, for his volume, he can't really shoot like that. To say that volume is where it needs to be. Like he's a better catch and shoot shooter.
It's the same thing we do, Mars.
No,
but he said he can't shoot. I said I disagree.
Y'all
Like,
are looking past.
it.
Y'all are looking past obvious things right now. Y'all are looking past obvious things. When we're playing basketball, somebody might have the ability to score and make things happen with the ball.
Yeah,
you got to have players on the court that are able to create for themselves without the ball. When you got somebody, I think like Cade Cunningham, who knows how to position themselves in advantageous places for the ball handler to find open spots to move without the ball, I think that changes things. So when you got guys with less talent, and this is something I'm not gonna say I overlooked throughout the time, but I just didn't give it much much validity. You know what I'm saying, on this team, because I just thought the team was that bad and Melo's just out there having fun, right? So now if you got LaMelo Ball out there and you got Brandon Miller over here, you got Cade Cunningham over here, and these dudes are putting themselves in advantageous spots for LaMelo Ball, not just standing and watching, or not creating space, but playing too close to where they're not getting any real spacing. Cade Cunningham, you can see when he was playing at Duke, this kid thinks the game. You know what I'm saying? He knows how to play basketball. I think him alone this year is going to make things a lot easier for LaMelo. You know what I mean? You gotta have dudes that aren't there just to watch the show. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have dudes that can play some basketball with you. And
I agree with that, but I think we're using that too much as an excuse, and I was using that too until I went and saw the shit that LaMelo do. That shit ain't basketball. He not doing that shit because he got somebody on the team that can't do it. He doing that. That's how he played. Like, it's just not good basketball. Like, that's why I'm saying he can't shoot for the shots that he shoot. He can't shoot that shit. Like, and the defense treat him like that. Like, that's exactly how the defense treat him. Like, well, he gonna shoot that bullshit. Let's go to the rebound. We out.
You're not gonna give him no grace at all?
No, I do think he's a better player on a better roster for sure. I do think like it's certain things that need to be fixed. But I'm saying for the Charlotte Hornets, I can't speculate about what do you do on this team and what are you gonna do on that team. I can't speculate that. Do I think he would be better on a different team? Of course. But my thing is, we talking about the Charlotte Hornets.
Would he be though, Drenchy?
Huh?
Would he be?
Yeah, because he wouldn't have to do. It wouldn't be him being sloppy and doing all that other shit. Like, teams wouldn't have to put up with that shit. That's number one. So the Hornets got to put up with that shit because they're not gonna take him out the game. Like, it is what it is. I'm just saying for the Charlotte Hornets aspect, we getting ready to go into game one for the Charlotte Hornets. So we got to talk about LaMelo on the Charlotte Hornets. I'm saying that shit he did last year.
Right.
That shit is not basketball. Even the shit he was doing even the shit I'm watching him do in preseason, it's like, bro, it's like, it's cool when it's on. That shit be mostly off for him, though. And the numbers say it. It's mostly off. So for us to get up here, and I think we just keep like getting fanned out about the potential of him. He has a hell of a lot of potential. But if we call a spade today, that shit ain't good. Like, he's not shooting the ball well.
Mars, if we're talking about, where do you think the term "can't shoot" comes from? Is it because you can't actually shoot? Because I know you're a very literal guy, very much so. So with that being said, Mars, is it because a guy can't shoot, or is it the shot selection which makes his ability to shoot look bad?
Well, if he ain't making that motherfucker, he can't shoot.
But before you answer this, Mars, shot selection has to be factored into it. Because Mars, I'm with you. When I think Trae Young is a sniper. And when I think LaMelo, I think LaMelo is a sniper. But we also have to factor in, bro, if you're gonna shoot half-court shots and make them 20% of the time, now that may be a good number for a half-court shot if you made them 20% of the time.
That motherfucker shoot 11 threes a game.
That's a hell of a number. But at the same time,
he led the league in 3-point attempts per game.
That's insane for a motherfucker that's not making them like that.
I agree. I think he shoots too many. That's different from saying he can't shoot. That was my disagreement. And then you amended the statement to say he shoots too many threes for the level of shooter he is, which is a statement I can agree with. But that's not what you said initially, which is why I disagreed.
I'm saying for what he do now,
I disagree with the statement that he
can't
can't
shoot.
shoot. That's why I disagree. When
Well,
I hear
he shoot
can't shoot,
11
I think
threes.
Asar Thompson. That's what I think. Asar Thompson. Those
With
level
this
of
shot,
shooters, guys who physically can't shoot.
Yeah, he better shoot.
Then you amended the statement saying LaMelo isn't a good enough shooter to justify the amount of threes he takes. Cool. I agree with that. I think the bigger issue of that is he shoots that many threes because he's so limited as a scorer inside the three-point line. That's the big issue to me. That's why I said I think he's a way better passer than he is a scorer. His scoring game is limited to floaters and threes at this point. He can't get.
Mark, I agree with you on that.
He has no mid-range game to rely on.
That's why I'm saying LaMelo Ball not that good. That's what I'm really saying. He's not that good.
Yeah, that's fine. So this is why I don't think he's a two guard. He's not a good enough scorer. I think his best attribute is his passing, playmaking in the open court. That's where he's at his best. If you get a team that can run, fill lanes, and let LaMelo do what he does in transition, you're going to have the best version of LaMelo. His game gets watered down in the half court because of his limitations. Teams are able to funnel him into the mid-range or force him all the way to the rim, finish over length, and he's not good at that. So if you keep the game open and spread and play as fast as possible, that's where you're going to get the best LaMelo. And that's with LaMelo as a point guard. LaMelo has good instincts for moving away from the ball. That's the stuff like maybe he got that from high school. I don't know. Like LaMelo, if he gets off the ball, he'll relocate. Maybe because he wants the ball back to shoot. Sure. Yeah. But that's still good basketball instincts. Whether you want to say it's selfish that he's moving about the ball to get the ball back. Regardless of the point that he's getting back to get the ball, make open jump shots. One thing LaMelo can do is he makes catch and shoot threes at a really high clip. The off the dribble stuff, and that's to your point. The off the dribble stuff isn't the greatest. I think he was like 32% last year. But if LaMelo gets an open catch and shoot jumper, he's going to make it.
But how he gonna get an open catch and shoot jumper if he's a point guard?
He got them last year.
Yeah, you still go. You still gonna catch and shoot.
Okay, you are right.
And that goes back to my relocation point and all that stuff.
Okay, but hold on. Yeah, you're right.
And also you need other competent ball handlers on the team, which
right. Okay, but
that goes down to Hornets roster.
I'm saying if we outweigh what LaMelo did on the ball versus what he did off the ball, you see a lot better when he catch and shoot off the ball.
As a scorer, he's better off the ball.
Yes, and that's what I'm saying. So on the
as
ball,
as a player, I think he's better.
I think on the ball, the reason why we see him as a scorer not do so well is because he has the responsibility of trying to play make too. When I watch him off the ball and they go swing, and he get it. So many people run up to LaMelo and try to close out. He's too fast. You either gonna close out. You either not gonna close out, and he's good at at catch and shoot threes. But if you close out, he's so fast, and now he can get around you, and then he can score a little bit better at the rim. Now, when he's on the ball, and y'all put him in these bullshit ass pick and rolls that the Hornets do, they do it all game long, which I don't understand. These high pick and rolls, which LaMelo suck at it. Like he's really bad at high pick and rolls, but they continue to do it. And he keeps coming off, making the wrong decisions, looking kind of lethargic a little bit, kind of a little slow a little bit, coming off that pick and roll. And it's just not good basketball for him. That's what I'm saying. From everything I observe, when I'm watching LaMelo Ball, he's so much better when somebody swings it to him. But when he got it up top, set up, not that good. And it just looks like everything.
I agree, but I think that's just back to his half court limitations. I just think he's very limited in the half court. But I don't think that's
limited until he's off the ball is what I'm saying. It seems limited.
But this back to my point. Like if we're talking about LaMelo, maximizing LaMelo as a scorer, I can agree. I think him having a more off-ball diet could help. I agree. If we're talking about maximizing LaMelo as a player and simultaneously maximizing the Charlotte Hornets offense, you need LaMelo on the ball. Numbers will dictate that. Watching the Hornets play, it's all fine and dandy. Watch the Hornets last year. Oh, have LaMelo off the ball, and then you're watching Trey Mann for the 9 games in this year offense, or you're watching Brandon Miller.
It's a coaching problem though. They're always trying to run these pick and rolls.
You can call it coaching, you can call it roster construction. That's fine. But if we're talking about maximizing the Hornets, it's more than just LaMelo. We can't just be like, well, LaMelo has to change the way he plays to maximize the roster when the roster doesn't have anyone else who's better with the ball in their hands.
But he's not that good at what he's doing either with the pick and roll either.
I'm not saying he is. I'm saying he's the best option. He can be the best of a bad bunch. This is why the Hornets aren't making the playoffs. This is why the Hornets aren't making the playoffs, in my opinion. This roster is too flawed. That doesn't mean you put LaMelo off the ball and then let Colin Sexton run the show. Like that's not what I'm saying. No,
I think y'all are like coping for this. Like, oh, nobody else can do it. He not doing it good either. Like, it don't matter if nobody, like, my thing is stop doing it.
We're saying he's the best of the bad.
Keep running high pick and rolls, and he sucks at it. Like, he sucks at it. That's the Hornets offense, high pick and roll. put
Jordan,
LaMelo
so
Ball
what-
at it because
what-
y'all have this mindset that LaMelo is that guy. And that's what I'm saying. We get blinded by this fandom that we think put LaMelo Ball at this because, oh, he's the best guy on the team that doing it. He fucking sucks at that shit. Like he sucks at it.
Jordan, so what would you do?
I would run a better offense that they don't have the talent for pick and roll all game. They don't have that talent. They don't have a James Harden. They don't have a lob threat. They don't have dead-eye shooters. Why are they constantly running pick and roll? What advantage do they create out of pick and roll? Nothing. They don't create nothing but highlights for LaMelo Ball because he come out the pick and roll, he snatch, and then he go 1 foot shot, and then we're going to keep running that bullshit. They don't have the personnel to run pick and roll. But
So
they always run.
what would you do though?
I probably would run more ball movement offense. I would just go swing. I would go cut. I would go a lot of back cuts. I would do more split actions where we can go dribble handoffs. I would do a lot more than high pick and roll.
Yeah, and that's fair enough.
Because it sounded to me like what Mars is saying, it sounds to me like, okay, I can't keep him at the lead guard because he ain't really that athletic to get to the rim and finish. That's number one. I can't put him at the swing spot because he doesn't run the floor or finish at the rim. But I also can't keep him at the lead guard spot because he ain't that 3-level scorer because he doesn't score in the mid-range that high. And on top of that, his ability to pass, he doesn't collapse the defense enough to get guys open. So it's kind of a quagmire with this guy.
He gets guys open, but
it's kind of a quagmire with this guy because I don't know exactly what to do with him. Do I put him at the 3? Well, he ain't really as athletic enough to put him at the 3. Do I put him at the 1? Well, him getting downhill and finishing at the rim isn't, which he should be, because at 6'8", he should be able to get by guys, especially if I'm the lead guard. He should be able to get by guys and get to the rim and finish better, but he doesn't. In fact, he lives with the floaters. Right, he lives in the mid range in spaces.
I don't know
if
if he's 6'8", he might be 6'7".
Okay, let's say 6'7", but he's living in that space where he isn't nearly as effective. So he's not much of a 3-level scorer. He's not a great athlete, but he is a good ball handler. Right, he can handle a basketball, and when you put him in space where he can distribute and get guys off, he can do that. So what do I need to do? Do I need to put him at the 2-guard spot and maybe set him up where I put him in space, to Jordan's point, where he's just running split action? He's coming off screens to shoot the basketball and take the ball out of his hands a little bit more, and maybe implement Brandon Miller more in the offense. Maybe we have to do that.
I think they need to
what we're doing right now is clearly not working.
I think to me personally, I think they could implement a little bit more ball move because they all like crafty scores. Like Brandon Miller's a crafty scorer to me. Miles Bridges is a crafty scorer to me. LaMelo Ball is a crafty scorer to me. Like they all can create advantages in their own way. My whole thing is I think they just need to use more ball movement because it's so hard to guard them out of swing situations. It's easy to guard them when you just set a ball screen, they come off, and then you swing it, and then you got a guy like I thought, who was the Hornets guy they hated? Like, oh, Josh Green. You got a guy like Josh Green in the corner who was a good shooter, but when he playing with them, he not. So it's like I just think they would be better if they just utilize more of their weapons. And now, when they get to the center spot, that's where I think they're really weak at. But Miles Bridges is a good scorer. Like,
well,
I
Jordan,
can't hear you. Chill, you on
chill,
mute.
you muted. But right quick before you go, chill, I do want to say, like, so you said utilizing their weapons. I think that's been their biggest problem. Like we talked about whether LaMelo should play the 1 or play the 2, and I kind of highlighted this earlier. LaMelo has to do everything because their roster just has not been that good. However, I do believe. Well, see, the thing about it is, and I've said this about Jalen Brunson, I said this about Trae Young, I've even said this about Chris Paul. Those guys would be so much better if they were the second option on their team. Like LaMelo would be able to. He would look better as a scorer, and he would be off ball more. To your point, Jordan. Yeah. Mars, to your point, he would be able to pass more and be a better distributor if he had a competent number 1 option. With him having to be the number 1 option, when you're the best scorer, when you're the best passer, when you're the best creator, you have to do everything. And when you're limited with the talent that you have around you, the defense can just focus on you. And Jordan, whether that's them just packing the paint and saying, shoot that bullshit, that's what it is. Look, it's not anybody over there until Brandon Miller turns the corner. If he does turn the corner, that can legitimately take the ball out of LaMelo's hands, and everybody say that's a good option.
I mean, to your point about number 2s creating for number 1s, they don't necessarily happen unless the number 1 is a big. Usually, when it's number 1 is a guard, they kind of create for themselves. For the most part, I just think I don't necessarily don't think that LaMelo can't be a number one. I think he can be a number one. I just think
number one where, Jordan? Like, what do we mean number one on the playoff team?
No, I'm saying number one scoring option. He could be their number one scoring option.
Right,
I would prefer him to do that. I just feel like the way that they get it would be a little bit better if they just stop. Like, I'm tired of these coaches thinking that they can coach. I say this shit all the time. Coaches got to coach. If you got a motherfucker sitting in the corner and he not making shots, and that's the only way you utilizing him, you're an idiot. Like, you're clearly an idiot. Like, I don't get how that's like coaching today. Let this motherfucker go shoot 0 for 8, and you keep putting him in that corner. You're an idiot. Like, that's not basketball. Move him around a little bit. Put him in a dunker spot. The good coaches do that. But we got bad franchises, and we're gonna blame certain players for their underperformance because that's the situation you keep putting them in where they don't have success. That's called bad coaching. That's bad philosophy, bad basketball. But we get blinded by the fandom of LaMelo Ball, and we'll just say, well, oh, look who he passing to. Look who he passing to. Like, not very many guys got a Brandon Miller and a Miles Bridges on their team. Now, the rest of the team, little shit, though. But not very many guys got those capable scorers.
Jordan, no, I can't.
How many teams got a Brandon Miller and a Miles Bridges? Miles Bridges can be a what? 20 points per game?
I just don't think you can have all the issues of LaMelo self-creating and then praise Brandon Miller scoring. That just doesn't happen.
Why are we talking about LaMelo like he's not scoring? First of all, we talk
about you just said scoring, weapons, blah blah blah.
I'm not praising his scoring. I'm just saying for the weapons that LaMelo Ball have. Y'all are pretty much coping for the bullshit basketball that he plays. He's not doing that because of the weapons that he has. He's doing that because that's how he
doesn't have any weapons.
No, Jordan. It's funny because I was making this exact argument months ago. I agree. LaMelo has bad habits. I think everyone up here agrees with that. I was making that argument 4 months ago with you on the opposite side arguing the reason he had these bad habits because of the team. I agree. He has bad habits. I said he's had bad habits for 10 years. I also think you trying to apply a lot of the Hornets' flaws onto LaMelo's style of play is also wrong.
No, I just said the coaching too, though. I said it's a lot of coaching.
But I'm saying a lot. I agree with I said a lot. I think the Hornets' biggest issue is the fact that the roster is not good, including LaMelo is a flawed player. The roster is not good. Some teams just aren't good enough. LaMelo is not a great scorer.
The Hornets scored a lot of points last year. They gave up a lot of points. I mean, you can say...
Yeah, their defense sucks, and LaMelo sucks on defense. Another thing you tried to tell me wasn't true, by the way. So, like, I'm not making the case that LaMelo is absolved of all responsibility. There's flaws within his game that definitely make roster construction harder.
And they scoring a lot of points, and they getting their ass tore up. Like,
the reason why they got weapons if they
score. Melo not scoring 100 points.
Yes, they were 30th in points per game, so that's not even true. They literally were the last team in the league at scoring points.
Yeah, but okay,
they lost.
They were last. They were last or next to last in almost every.
Put LaMelo Ball.
They were less than everyone.
LaMelo Ball. Put LaMelo Ball back in the starting lineup before he got hurt. Where were they?
Oh, check.
I remember he was getting a good. I remember he was getting a good 40 ball. I remember Brandon Miller was getting a good 20 ball. I remember Miles Bridges getting some. I remember Miles Bridges getting off. And it looked good, especially at the beginning of the season. It looked good. We had faith. And then what?
He's weak.
Then what?
Maybe you had faith.
You didn't have faith when LaMelo Ball put up what?
No, because I didn't think the Hornets were good.
I'm talking about when he put up 37 on the Rockets.
Faith in war.
What did he do?
I have faith in. What are you asking if I had faith in? What are you asking what I had faith in?
I'm saying so when LaMelo Ball and the Hornets beat the Rockets, right? I think that was what the fifth, maybe the seventh game of the season, and LaMelo Ball looked damn good.
Nights. They beat Houston on opening night.
Okay. So when LaMelo Ball looked damn good, what did he have? 37.
He looked really good. He had 34 and 11.
Okay, what did the rest of the team have?
Well, they only scored 110. I'll just put that out there.
Oh, what did the rest of the team have? He didn't score all 110.
Trey Mann had 24 off the bench. Everyone else was 10 points and less.
24 or 10 points or less. How much? How many guys scored double digits?
Just one, Miles Bridges. It was LaMelo 34, Trey Mann 24, 10 points or less, Miles Bridges 10.
Okay, so how did they get 110?
Because if you add 34 plus 10 plus 24 plus 6 plus 8 plus 6 plus 7 plus 8 plus 5
that
plus
means
3,
a lot of
you get
people are
110. What kind of
scored.
question is
So
that?
that means multiple people did something. That's what my point is. Multiple people did something. It ain't like
Welcome to
LaMelo going
basketball,
out there
Jordan.
getting 50.
Well, no one scores 110 points a game by themselves.
Did they win?
Yes, by 5 points. Yes, they
I
won.
don't give a fuck if they won by 1 point. They won because everybody inputted.
They won
Everybody that
scoring
scored,
110 points. That's not a lot of points to score.
Everybody that
Are we
scored.
serious?
Okay. If everybody didn't do what they were supposed to do, I don't give a fuck if you scored 2 points. If you scored, you contributed to the win.
Right, I get that part, but we still sitting here talking
Okay,
about. Wait a minute,
and
okay,
the
Mars.
next
Wait a
game,
minute. Wait.
Did he
What-
contribute
This
to
is
the
a-
loss?
this is an asinine argument. This is an asinine argument.
Before we, fellas,
Miles
right
is
quick,
asinine
Jordan, Mars,
The
chill.
next game they had 120 and lost. But go ahead,
Mars.
Okay, so
Before
they
we
score
go-
120 fucking points, but we don't.
Before we do anything else, this is what we have to do. We have to run the score up here. All right, y'all. On Splash Sports, this is where we gonna score the most points collectively. Hey, I don't give a damn who it is. I just know we gonna score a lot. Now, we have a Survivor contest going on right now, and there are 2 people left, and I can't wait to tell you guys what happened in that Survivor contest this weekend. But before I do that, you guys need to download the Splash Sports app, where you can make your picks, and you won't be making your picks against the house. You will make your picks against other fans. Now, quick picks on Splash Sports. This is their peer-to-peer DFS game where you pick more or less on at least 2 players, anywhere from 2 to 6 players, and you get matched with other players at that same buy-in amount and at the same pick count amount. But this is why it's fire, because they have fair matchmaking. So, well, once again, you compete against other people and not the house, and which gives you more strategy because you have a diverse range of lines that you can find multiple ways to outsmart other players. And ultimately, it gives you better odds because, well, you don't have to have the perfect card. You just have to pick more than the next player that you're playing against. And so, as you guys can see right here on this banner down here, with quick picks, we will match up to $50 on your first entry, or you will get a 100% boost on your first entry. But that only happens when you use code PLAYER. Why? Because you're watching Player's Choice, baby. But also, too, I just want to give you guys a couple good picks for the day. This is sponsored by your favorite football head, Bama. So Bama is saying that the Denver Broncos against the New York Giants with Bo Nix, you should go more than 225 passing yards. And then he's saying with Jackson Dart, you should go less than 173 and a half passing yards. He's also saying T. Higgins, take the more on T. Higgins against the Pittsburgh Steelers with 45 and a half receiving yards. And last but not least, Cortland Sutton, go more than 56 and a half receiving yards. Y'all should listen to Bama and y'all should take his advice. Go ahead and make these picks. This is a quick example of the quick picks on Splash Sports where you choose 2 or more players and you go more or less. You guys download the app. Use code PLAYER and do what you do best. That's no ball, talk ball, debate ball, and pick ball. We'll see you guys in the winner's circle.
That slip's a little too safe for me, Ron. Bama not living on the edge in the.
Well, the thing about Bama, Ox, the thing about you and Bama is you guys live on the edge every time you guys eat because you guys eat a lot of snacks, fast foods, and things like that.
Fast food.
If you don't want to live on the edge, this is what you should do. You should go to factormeals.com/players choice 50 off because with Factor Meals, well, quite frankly, it will allow you to tighten up your life and tighten up your diet. And on top of that, it will just give you more time to do the things that you want to do in life, such as watch Player's Choice, such as get outside and do the things that are fun, such as hang out with your friends, such as maybe play video games, maybe go play sports. Whatever the case is, Factor Meals will give you your time back because you'll be able to get out the kitchen, doing all the cooking and prepping and all of that extra stuff, and you'll be able to get into the things that actually make life fun. So once again, go to factormeals.com/players choice 50 off and use code players choice 50 off to get 50 off. Fellas, ladies, gentlemen, everybody, Factor Meals gives you the healthiest options, the most convenient options, and quite frankly, I use it every day to once again get my time back. It is fall. Winter will be here soon. Work schedules off the chain. I'm going from meeting to meeting, work to work, podcast to podcast, content to content, and I need my time back. And this is the best way to do it. On top of that, their food tastes better than what you're going to cook anyways. I know y'all can't cook. So once again, go to factormeals.com/playerschoice50 off. Use code playerschoice50 off and get you some good eats. All right, fellas. We talked a lot about LaMelo Ball. We talked a lot about roster construction. This team has made a couple different moves. They got Spencer Dinwiddie. They got Colin Sexton. They drafted Conka Nipple, and they drafted Liam McNeely. What are our expectations for the Hornets? I need you guys to let me know. They won 19 games last year. Do they improve from that? Do they make the playoffs? And where do you guys believe that they'll finish in the division? Ox, talk to us. We haven't heard too much from you this year.
They're last in the division. I don't know how many games they'll win. Maybe 23, 24. I don't know. This team is terrible.
So they right back in that lottery.
Oh, for sure. For sure. They better. You know what? I said something yesterday I usually don't say. Y'all know I am so against tanking. This is the year to do it, especially if you're the Hornets. I would go 0-82 for Cam Boozer. I would not win one basketball game. I'm talking about I would lose every game.
To me about Cam Boozer. He better be the real deal.
Chill. I'm talking about I wouldn't.
It's not just Ox chill. It's Penn with AJ too. They both better be the real deal.
Better than AJ by far. Cam Boozer is the best player in college basketball this year. He will be the best rookie. He'll be the best draft pick. If I'm the Hornets, don't win a game. Do everything you can to get Cam Boozer.
That still doesn't. That doesn't mean that we're going to get the first pick in the draft. We watched the Detroit Pistons lose almost 30 straight games, and they still didn't get the first pick in the draft. So just because we suck does not mean we're going to get the first pick in the draft.
I understand that, and I'm being, I'm overdoing it. I'm hyping it. I don't know how many games you got to win and how many games you got to lose, but this is one of those teams that don't got to try to tank. You know what I'm saying? They could just play basketball, and they're going to lose anyway. So it's like, they're bad.
My issue is everything that you guys talked about with LaMelo Ball being the anchor of our offense. Just so you guys are clear, he played 105 games over the last 3 years. That's 35 games a season. How we building our unit around a dude that's barely here 2 months? We not, Ox. We can't build our unit around nobody like that. We can't get any continuity like that. We can't get any source of we can't get anything stable when we got a guy that's not here more than 2/3 of the time. We can't do that. That's not going to work, unfortunately. Right. So with that being said, we have two options here. Option number one, we got to get off LaMelo Ball and we got to start over. Option number two, we got to change our offense. I think this team is going to be in last place again in that division. I think that division is going to be really good. I don't think that LaMelo Ball, what he's shown me, if I said the same thing about Zion, I got to say the same thing about LaMelo Ball. Over the last 3 years, he hasn't held up. He has not been healthy, and there's no evidence to suggest to me that he's going to continue to do that. So until he does it, I need to see it. I think they're going to be in last place in this division again.
I damn sure think they're going to be last. I don't know. I would have fired Charles Lee ass too, though. I would have just fired everybody. Like, I would have just went on a tear of just cleaning out the house. Like, the culture need to change. The ideology of the way they play basketball need to change. Like, the players need to change. The little childish shit that they do in the locker room, all of that stuff just need to change. Well, not in the locker room, just on and off the court. All that just need to change. Like, they need real structure over there. They have none. I think, like I said, I'm gonna still stand 10 toes down on the I think they got weapons. They might not have the best weapons in the NBA. They might not have the better weapons of top 10 teams in the NBA, but they got something that they can work with if they structure it right. If they structure what they want to do right. If they don't, they're gonna be bottom 10. Now, they did add Dinwiddie, they did add Conka Nipple, they did add Colin Sexton. To me, it still don't fix their real issue last year. The biggest issue they had for me last year was they bigs was just really bad. Probably the worst big rotation you had in the league, period. Like, they should have fixed that issue more than anything. They should have got a solidified big, whether it be, I don't know, maybe they should have kept Nurkic. Shit, they should have kept Nurkic. Because better than what they got. So I don't know. They could have did something, but maybe they should have got a guy like, if they could, somebody caliber, who's a player like Dylan Brooks. Somebody, they need somebody over there to change that culture. because they look like the sorry ass Houston Rockets. That's what they look like when Steven Silence was over there.
Yeah, Jordan, you said they got weapons. They got muskets.
I mean, Brandon Miller, 21 points a game. Miles Bridges, 20 points a game. LaMelo Ball, 26, 27 a game. How many teams got that many 20s on their roster?
It's 48 minutes of basketball, bro. Somebody got to.
Obviously, but somebody got to score. Yes, but that's weapons. That's called weapons. If I know I got 20, and I'm looking at the piece of paper before taking day one of the job, and I see 27, 20, 21. Ain't no way in hell y'all look at that shit and say this team is garbage. It's no way. It's no way you look at 3 21-point scores blindly. I'm talking about block out the names. Go look at the roster, chill, and you see 20s, 3 20s. Let's say this was a college team you was going to, and you see 20. What the hell? You gonna think, what's going on here? As a coach, you gotta be thinking, what the hell's going on here? Something
and a
not
15
right.
a game guy too, Jordan. And a 15 a game guy too.
15, you gotta be thinking something not right here.
Jordan, why aren't we winning games?
It's motherfuckers that played on garbage ass teams that wasn't scoring that many 20s.
But Jordan, no.
Why aren't we winning? When the 76ers
we got 3 20 a game guys and a 15 a game guy.
Did the 76ers have 3 20-point scores?
Who's the 15 a game guy?
Mark Williams.
Oh, he talking about who hey, no, hey, Ron, who was the 3 20-point score when the 76ers didn't win no games?
Jordan, but here's my thing though.
Oh, we gonna switch.
I hear what you're saying, but when the big three for the Celtics played with each other, and I'm talking about the 08 Celtics, they didn't all three average 20. And they are miles better than this.
They all three average 20 on their own team.
Jordan's point is that we got something here.
And they was never trash.
There's something going on here. Why are we this bad? Why are we this bad? I agree with that part.
Part of it is Brandon Miller's a 20-point per game scorer, but he's still young though. So I don't expect his 20.
He needs some structure.
I'm not trying to hear that shit, Ron, because Wemby young, and y'all telling me that Wemby's going to be a top 5 player in the league this year.
But he's not.
That young shit.
But he's not though.
100%. But when you're young, when you are a young player in a young league, right?
Oh, okay.
When you're a young player in a young league, we can't use the logic, yo, this dude is young. We can't do that because we got a lot of young players in the league that are better than almost everybody else. We got that going on. That's not my opinion. That's a fact. So to say that Brandon Miller, okay, he's not this because he's young. Okay, well, he's still getting busy though. He's still 20 a game. And to George's point, if I got 3 20 a game guys on the crew
and a 15 a game guy,
and I got a 15 a game guy who's almost a double-double by the way.
Trey Man. No, Trey Man, we don't even got to use him.
Mr. 9 games?
No, Mars. Listen, focus, Mars.
And Brandon Miller played 27 games, by the way.
So Brandon Miller's 27 games.
47 games.
Plus Trey Man's 9 games. We got 36 games of guys who can score.
Right. He was going to score 9. So Brandon Miller played 60 games.
The point is that we.
What I'm saying is they didn't have consistent scoring throughout the season. I'm saying they didn't have scoring throughout the season. That's what I'm saying. Even in the games in which LaMelo played, by the way, because you said, the scoring average was good. The scoring average only went to the bottom of the league because LaMelo didn't play. When LaMelo played, they only averaged 108 points a game, which is still bottom 5 in the NBA. This team didn't score the ball. I'm not arguing that the Hornets don't have any talent on the roster. What I have been arguing against is your notion that LaMelo Ball, having the ball as much as he does, is a problem, but then saying they have weapons like Miles Bridges and Brandon Miller, especially Brandon Miller, when he can't create a damn thing for himself. He cannot create a single shot for himself. But he's a weapon. LaMelo Ball having the ball is a problem, but Brandon he's amazing off the ball. That's why.
So
he's really good.
Create something for him. What the fuck? I don't give a fuck if you think he can self-create or not. I don't care. That wasn't my argument. You want to switch that shit to my argument to try to make what you're saying is right. I don't give a shit if he can't create for himself. Somebody got to do something else but LaMelo Ball is my fucking argument. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
All right, y'all. We gonna go ahead and get into these super chats. Salute to everybody that's in here. Make sure you like that video. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you become a member. Shout out to everybody that's on Facebook. And let's get into it. T-Fame became a YouTube member today. Shout out to T-Fame. Trent became a YouTube member. Shout out to Trent. We got a super chat from Nico. Nico said, if a team uses mostly plays/sets to generate their offense, is the playmaking value of those players the same as those on a team whose offense is more read and react?
If a team mostly plays sets to generate their offense, is the playmaking value of those players the same as those on the team whose offense is more read and react?
Playmaking is playmaking. I just think playmaking is playmaking, so. Regardless whether you read and react or you run a set. You got to have the talent to do that. I mean, it's to me, coaching's got to coach. That's what it is to me. Coaches got to coach.
First of all,
everybody believe that you can just create read and reacts. That's what everybody believe. You can create read and reacts. And so, if you don't, they think you trash. But coaches got to coach. That's what I think.
I think in the generated way where you run sets as opposed to read and react, I think it's more orchestrated. Read and react, you got guys who aren't that smart playing read and react basketball. And when they play read and react basketball, it looks really bad. If you put them in a specific offense where I need you to do this and just do this specifically, they might thrive in that, as opposed to making it a little bit more open for them and may open up all the flaws that they have. And I think that that's a bad thing for them.
I think with basketball talk, we've gotten too far into worrying about who gets the credit for what, as opposed to just, realizing, okay, we playing good ball. You know what I'm saying? It's all about, well, this person did this person did. At the end of the day, that stuff don't really matter. You know what I mean? It's kind of like just play good basketball. Everybody can play good basketball, and then we can all get credit for winning the game.
Ox, we've always been there. Despite how good the team is, we always put it on. The reason why we're doing this is because of said player. The reason why we're this good is because said player is this good as a defender. The reason why we're this good is because said player is this good as a bucket getter. The reason why we're this good is because these two guys on the offensive glass are this. It's never just been, our unit is awesome. We talk the Detroit Pistons in 2004 might be the epitome of what a unit is. We talk about Chauncey Billups all the time. We talk about Ben Wallace all the time. You dig? So I think that it's always going to be like that in terms of what we're looking for, in terms of putting one guy or two guys ahead of the group, because we have to have a leader.
Yeah, but I think a lot of times we just get obsessed with figuring out, like, okay, this team was great, but who made them so good? It's kind of like, it just depends on how we're talking about the game. You know what I mean? Sometimes when you ask me a question, sometimes I'm like, okay, am I supposed to look at this from a fan point of view? Am I supposed to look at this from a player point of view? Am I supposed to look at this from the culture point of view? When I just made that statement, I'm looking at it from, with the coaching hat on. When you're coaching a team, typically I would say a good coach, quote unquote, would be more so, we just want to win this game, as opposed to, I don't care if you score 35. You know what I'm saying? As a coach, that 35 is just as important as those 9 rebounds or 7 assists from this dude. You know what I'm saying? We're just trying to win this game. And I think that when we put our fan hat on, we get too obsessed with, figuring out, well, this person did this much. Okay, that's cool. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's all right. I don't see anything wrong with that, but at the same time, I think we're starting to have an obsession with that, as opposed to just winning the game.
That's why I ask you, Ox, whenever I talk to you, whenever I ask the question, Ox, take off your fan hat for a second. Put on your baller hat, right? Put on your coaching hat. When I ask questions, I do the same thing with you, Drenchy. Drenchy, put on your coaching hat for a second and answer. I try to put you in space where you can understand it from that perspective, as opposed to, because when you're a fan, remember what fan is. You're a fanatic. And as a fanatic, you're a fanatic for somebody specific. You're a fanatic for a specific team, right? So you can't take your blinders off. You can't be that. You can't really be that objective.
Yeah. Chill. Also, real quick, I'm not gonna go off track, Ron. I just want to say this real quick. Today's our last day of tryouts. I got this middle school team. Woo! I got some gold.
You got some ballers.
I got some gold right there. Just wanted to throw that out there. I got some gold.
I got some ballers. Yes, sir.
Yeah. I just wanted to chime in on this super chat because they asked which one's more valuable. And I do believe that having plays and sets is much more valuable than having a offense with players that can read and react. And they can even you can have LeBron and Luka on your team, which the Lakers have LeBron and Luka, and they don't have the best offense. And those are two of the best read and react players ever. I think when you put players in, kind of how Chill said, in a system where the offense is, what's coming next, what to expect, the reads you got to make. I think that puts players in a position to be successful. Like look at the Spurs offense. Look at these offenses where we know that these teams are running offenses. Even the Indiana Pacers offense, where it's a fast-paced offense, but guys know what they're doing in the balls moving, the bodies are flowing, all of that stuff. I think that helps players. Even the players that are good at reading and reacting, when you put them in a system, when you give them plays, when you give them sets, it helps them to actually do what they're already good at. It helps them to do that better. But a lot of the reason why we don't see teams, or why we see a lot of teams relying on read and react, and we don't see teams playing in systems and plays and sets, because the coaches just got to be better. Like you got to actually have a good coach in order to run plays and run sets and have a system. So you actually have to have an elite coach, and that's the thing. Like similar to how teams got to have a superstar player.
Yep.
Teams got to have a superstar coach too, and it's just not as many as
just a
you
competent
would think
coach, Ron. Just somebody that know what they're doing. I mean, you can watch games and you can watch coaches and tell this dude does not know what he's doing.
You know what, Chill? I'm gonna use one of the quotes from Coach Khan. Let me go to my notes real quick to make my point. Because this was a really good one, right? Data-driven decision-making, being able to gauge and listen to what people need and follow the data, right? Mm-hmm. That was one of the things that stood out to me at Coach Khan. So if I'm looking at the data of Charlotte Hornets, and I keep going in there with the same plan, nothing changes. You're not having a data-driven decision-making. Your ass is just you just clearly hoping something happens that's not there. In football, those coaches get fired week 5. We just seen that Brian Callahan just got fired. But in basketball, for some reason, we make excuses. I don't understand that. In basketball, these coaches get these long 10 years or 2 and 3 years, or this or 2 and 3 years of just being trash. And it's like in football, your ass got one season and you horrible. Now, there's some exceptions like Dan Campbell. They put some shit together, but they saw the fight in that team with Dan Campbell with the Detroit Lions. They saw a fight in that team every night in, night out. With the Hornets, we don't see no fight. We see a joke night in, night out. And we see the same type of basketball for 82 games. And then we're going to make excuses. Something is wrong with that system. Like, you cannot look at that and say, for us not to take a change, to not make a change, just keep doing this shit, you hoping for something. You guessing at it.
Ron, I will say this too, even about that super chat and just coaching and plays in general. I think it's not always so much about the – obviously, you have to be at a certain level. Obviously, if you're at that level anyway, right? Coaching and playing. But more so, if I have a talented coaching staff and a talented playing players, if the coach isn't bought into the players and the players aren't caught into the coach, we're going to have a clash and we're not going to have great success. You can have a mediocre team and a mediocre coach that are both bought into a system. They both believe in each other, and they can beat a superior team that's not bought into what their coaches are doing, or the coach aren't bought into their players. I think a lot of the time it's just about finding that cohesiveness and just playing whatever your system is, buying into it and executing that. You know what I'm saying? I think so. To that super chat, I can't say which one is more important. It's more about being on the same page all around. You know what I'm saying? I think that's really slept on.
I think what you said is the big deal. I think the big deal of like having a coach that implement culture and, like you said, that's buying in, and that's to me like I'm pro. If you sign a coach for 5 years, I'm pro. If as long as the team's showing up, let him play out his 5 years, and then you make the decision. But if I sign you for 5 years and for 2 straight years or 3 years, the team's not showing up, your team is being taken for a joke, there's no change in the immediate culture. I'm talking about if my team was the worst team in the NBA last year, and then we come back and we the worst team, and I hired you and we back again as the worst team in the NBA again too, obviously there's some roster construction that need to get done. But I'm firing you too, though, because you just don't have that it to make people want to get up and run through a wall. And I use Dan Campbell as an example because the Lions were the worst team in the NFL, and he was crying at the podium. The players wanted him, like the players wanted him back because they played hard. The Lions just had unfortunate shit happen, night in, night out. They was playing. And then the next year, what did they do? They had the best season they ever had. That's somebody that implemented coaching. That's somebody.
So would you have fired Chauncey Billups?
No, because I said that off the rip. I saw the Trailblazers showing up and trying. And guess what happened? The last stretch of the season, what did they do? They went on a run. Like that. Yeah. That's what I mean by we need to see progression. We don't see that, and we just see foolishness. Everybody in the NBA look at the Charlotte Hornets like foolishness. Bro, I was having a conversation with somebody, and they literally said it's 15 teams. Oh, I mean, they literally said it's 12 to 15 teams in the NBA that just a joke, night in, night out. Like, that's a problem. That is a problem.
Fair enough.
Got to do with coaching. Ime Udoka wasn't like that with the Rockets, though.
He switched that up quick. Dan Campbell that year. Dan Campbell had me ready, trying to get in shape. Like, man, I'm trying to go play for the Lions.
No, he had you ready to run through a wall. Yes, he did. He was like, yo, I want to play for that dude.
Mike Vrabel did the same thing. He did the same thing with the Titans. I remember when the Titans was like 1-5 before we went to the AFC Championship. Mike Vrabel made one change at quarterback and then went on a run. Titans became one of the most dangerous teams in the NFL. What are you doing with them now? With the Patriots? Wasn't they a joke last year? Are they a joke now? What happened?
I remember when Mike McDonald had the Seattle Seahawks #1 in the NFC
You're right,
West.
Mike McDonald.
Yeah.
Too. Like Mike McDonald did the same thing. Like that's what I'm saying. It's all about when you come in, how serious you are. Like if you serious about change and not just running your mouth and talking, we gonna see it on the court. We gonna see it on the field.
Clearly, some other coaches in the division aren't serious because their players keep getting injured. They're not taking care of their health.
Still undefeated in the division, though. Still 3 wins, 0 losses. Meanwhile, there's one team in the division that got a loss, and they got it from our boys. So pipe down over there, Ron. Quiet up.
Hey, but here, I like y'all guy, Shanahan. You know he was with us first.
Yes.
So I mean I like the Shanahan dude. Even the Packers coach. Like, I'm just saying, to me, a lot of this shit is about structure. Like I didn't took over a team. My first year coaching, I was like 18 years old, bro. I had a team full of kids that never won a game. Not even at their middle school. They didn't win nothing. We went to AAU. They was probably 0-7. Boy, I had a kid on the team before I got there. The coach told me this brother had his headphones on. This brother had his headphones on the bench, Ox. Like about to sub him in. And he looked.
I'd have took my belt off. And I'd have got fired that day. I am not lying. I'd have got fired that day.
Bro. And then when they got in the game,
they would have had to stop the game.
Bro, they was getting blown out. One team put like a little 5-year-old in the game. Mind you, these kids 13 and 14. The 5-year-old scored. Day one, they came and got me to be their coach. I didn't get no new kids. I got the same roster. Day one mentality, changing that shit right away. You know what I did with my first game, Chill? Won. Kids lost their mind.
This what it looked like?
Mindset. Dead ass. You got to just implement mindset. What it's about. This is what we doing.
All right, y'all. Mad Max Sports said, Mars, explain to Chill that assists don't equal passing level, please. He said LaMelo's not an elite passer because he only averages 8 assists.
Who said that?
Mars, would you be willing to cook Chill?
Please.
I don't think passing level is about assists, but I also think 8 assists is a lot of assists. So
who said that?
It is a lot of assists. No doubt.
Even by the measure of assists, wouldn't LaMelo still be an elite passer?
Even though that's not what I said. But okay,
what did you say?
Let's assume I said that. When I think about elite passers, right? When I think about an elite passer, I think Trae Young is an elite passer, and his production proves that, right? His production proves that. When I talk about guys being elite passers, and then I bring up assist totals, I talk about these guys being that because when I see them doing it, your production matters. Like you're not an elite bucket getter because the tween and the step back and all of that stuff looks good, but you ain't consistently putting the ball in the basket. That doesn't make you an elite bucket getter. No, because it looks good. If you are producing, that's part of it. So when, again, a guy like Trae Young, I think he's an elite distributor. I think Tyrese Halliburton is an elite distributor. Guys like that. I think James is an elite distributor. I think Joker is an elite distributor, and his production proves it. Just because it looks good does not mean that you're an elite distributor or an elite bucket getter or an elite rebounder. Just because it looks
Don't
good.
LeBron and LaMelo average the same amount of assists?
Do they?
I think so.
I'm pretty sure it's close.
Around the same.
LaMelo might
Around
average
the
more.
same, at least.
No. He was a
For their
little less.
for their careers, I'd assume it's around the same. Right now, I'd assume it's probably a bit more in favor of LeBron. But hasn't LeBron been an elite passer for like 20 years?
Yes,
And
Yeah.
he's averaged like 7 assists for like 20 years.
8 assists, led the league in assists
Isn't that what LaMelo averages? 7, 8 assists.
Now, with that being said, is it different then? Is it the same? Is the production the same? Because what I'm talking about is
define production, because I would argue that our assist to turnover ratio is very similar.
okay, so let's talk about that for a second, Mars. So your
What is
ability to
production to?
pass-
That's what I'm asking.
Okay, how you do it, when you do it, who you do it against, where you do it. That's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about producing. And when I'm talking about a guy who is throwing the basketball away,
LaMelo's assist to turnover ratio is actually better than LeBron's.
is that a fact? Really?
Yeah, 7.4 to 3.3 for LaMelo, 7.4 to 3.5 for LeBron.
So I think last season, I think he was 7.4 assists, something like that.
7.6 turnovers. Yep.
So that's a 2-to-1 assist to turnover. That's James. James got a 2-to-1 assist to turnover ratio
Well,
for his
last
career.
year I can check.
I ain't even talking about last year because you said for 20 years.
For LaMelo's career is 7.4 to 3.3. For LeBron's career, 7.4 to 3.5. It's worse. He averages more turnovers and the same amount of assists.
So is it?
But he's an elite passer, like we will agree.
So are we gonna put him being an elite passer at 8 assists as the same as James? Because again, because you average 8 assists, you can be an elite passer. But just because you average that many assists, that doesn't make you an elite passer. Prime example would be, let's see, I'm thinking about a guy who is a 7-8 assist guy that I don't think it's an elite. You're an elite passer because again,
Steve Nash.
Devin Booker averages like 7 assists.
I don't think Devin Booker is an elite passer. I don't. I think he can pass. I don't think he's an elite passer though, right? So the point that I'm making is that what you produce and how you produce this. So if I'm averaging 25 a game, but it's empty, that doesn't make me an elite scorer. I'm just a bucket getter. Prime example would be yesterday. You and me talked about RJ Barrett. I think RJ Barrett, like you think that 21, that 19 to 22 a game is empty. There's really nothing that comes with it. Meanwhile, we might have another dude in the league that's averaging 20, 22 a game, but he's getting it on better efficiency. He's getting it against guys in the playoffs. He's getting it where his team is at the top of the league, and it's actually leading to something. A guy like LaMelo Ball, who he's producing 8 assists, but those 8 assists, is that leading to something productive? That's my point.
I guess we just
put
too much premiums on. Like, I think we didn't got to a point. This is probably the first time in a long time in basketball that we just put premiums on how people get their assists. Like, it's like, Jokic do some simple pass and we glaze the shit out of it. Then when somebody else do it, it's not elite. It's like it's just gonna become too opinionated on what we think is elite and what is not. It's like it comes very subjective for some reason. I mean, I guess
it is subjective. A good pass is always going to be subjective.
For sure. Yeah,
what you may think is a good pass, I might be like, ain't no big deal. I might think is a good pass.
That's why I don't think it's worth the comparison in a lot of ways too many times. Because it's like if you value somebody that just throw good pass, like somebody just like, I think Jeff Teague made a great point when he said Chris Paul really only passed the ball when he has an assist. Like, and I agree. Like once I thought about that a while ago, but like he definitely does that. Like you don't normally get the ball out of Chris Paul's hand unless he has like a either assist or a hockey assist to it, or you ain't getting it. And it's like, okay, but there's other passers like Hallie's who's willing to get off the ball because you 3 steps ahead of him, and he probably was taught if you swing the ball up the court, that's the best way to play basketball. But one will be elite, the other one would be, I don't know. I guess Hallie is elite too, but I don't know. I guess it just becomes subjective. I don't know. It's just to me, it's not worth the comparison if we gonna put assists on it. And since they did put assists on it, I don't think we should compare.
That when you are a distributor, your production matters, and how you getting it matters too. Just because,
John Stockton he got some basic ass assists. Are we gonna say he wasn't an elite passer?
He was an elite.
We're not saying that.
Yeah, but a lot of his assists was basic. A lot of them was bread and butter.
Yeah, but I don't think Stockton's an elite passer because he got a lot of assists. I think he's an elite passer because the way he saw the game and how he could fit the ball.
Okay, so he's the elite playmaker. I
don't care about assists when it comes to who's a better passer. Bill
But
Walton,
I still got to be able to deliver the ball.
He's one of the best passing big men ever, and he averaged 3 assists a game. But I know I saw Larry Bird averaged like 6 assists a game for his career. He's the second best passer small forward I think the game has ever seen, and I can make a very competent argument that he's the best. I could make that argument.
I agree. I mean, I think you can kind of. That's where I think some of the inflated stats will probably go into it. Not inflated. The analytical stats probably go into it with the per possessions and shit like that. But I would agree with you with Larry Bird. Who did you say the big was? I didn't hear it.
Bill Walton.
I'm with Shaq with the whole Bill Walton bullshit, but you know,
I don't know what
is, but y'all, we gotta bring it back in though, because we got to get on to the next team. The next team we are going to talk about is the Orlando Magic. Fellas, this is a team that a lot of people are high on. This is the team that made some offseason additions. This is a team that has some young players that I believe we all expect to take steps forward. This is a young team that looked good in the playoffs last year against a healthy Celtics team. This is a young team that won 41 games last year, so they went 500, but their 2 best players missed a good amount of time. But fellas, talk to me about how you feel about the Orlando Magic this year.
I like the Orlando Magic, but if they come out with this slow ass offense and shit again, and they're not very good shooters, I'm gonna give up faith on their ass.
How can they speed the game up,
bro?
By running when they get a million shots again.
I'm giving up faith if they keep with this slow ass offense. Like, you're not beating nobody in the playoffs with that shit. When we go, like I said, data-driven results, data-driven decisions. When we gonna make that assumption that we just ain't gonna beat nobody in the playoffs with this slow ass offense? I'm giving up. I'm giving up. If they do that shit again, I'm not finna talk nothing about I'm high on the Orlando Magic. If they do that again, I'm not high on them.
They're 23rd in transition possessions a game in preseason. So that's not
and by game 15, if they still 23rd or 20 and up, I'm giving up.
Last year they were, bear with me. Last year they were bottom 4, so they were 27th in transition.
So they're one of the better defensive teams in the game. They get
absolutely.
They turn the basketball over. They don't speed the game up. Would that be because, and I think this is a problem for Orlando too, because Mars, you and I had this conversation when we were in San Francisco. Your point guard has to be able to score. You don't have to average 30 a game, but your point guard has to be able to score today. And he's got to be able to score more than 12, 13 points a game. And I think that if we're speeding the game up, yes, I can appreciate Franz being a ball handler. Yes, I can appreciate Paolo being a really good ball handler. I think that this kid Suggs has to be able to speed the game up more. Can he do that? Can he be more of a stop and pop guy in transition? Can he be more of a down?
I don't think he has to be that. I don't think he has to be a stop and pop guy.
Yes, he does. 100% he does. And here's why. Okay, so if I'm one of these guys where I'm taking the ball off the glass, or Franz is taking the ball off the glass, and I'm getting in and we going, if I'm stopping at the free throw line and I'm knocking down the free throw, that draws the defense into me. When that draws the defense into me, now I'm getting off the ball, and Franz or Paolo or Jonathan Isaac, one of those guys, are finishing at the rim. So I got to be able to keep the defense honest. If I'm not,
I don't think that's the issue though, Tio. I think the issue is they don't run enough. I did think that the issue is they don't run.
They need to run more and throw hit heads. That's what they need to do.
Just throw it up.
You got Paolo, who's a one-man wrecking ball in transition. Franz the same in a different way, but Franz is the same. Desmond Bane now is one of the best transition scorers in the NBA. It's got to be drilled into them that if Wendell gets the rebound, he's looking for the outlet instantly, and you guys are running. Not, oh, we're going to get the rebound, we're going to look to Paolo, and Paolo's going to walk the ball up the court.
No,
Like, that doesn't benefit anyone. This is a team that can't shoot, and you're choosing to play slowly. That just doesn't make sense. You got to pick a struggle. If you can't shoot, play fast. Especially if you get as many stops as they get. Like, there's no way a team like Orlando is as good defensively as they are, and they're playing in transition as little as they do. The Bulls play in transition the most in the NBA, and they can't stop a soul. So why are the Orlando Magic not running after every stop, every turnover? Jalen Suggs can force turnovers.
That's why I said they're gonna get ready. That's why I was a big
that's why I agree. It's coaching transition. I think a lot of transition is coaching and effort. Jamal Mosley has to instill transition offense into this team. He has to.
Yeah, and if he don't, I'm giving up. You need to get fired. Like that. Like at that point, you got to get fired. And he been there 4 years now, so his contract should be up.
He's been there for a little while. I don't know if they extended him. I don't keep up with.
I'm not extending him after this year. This over with for you, bro. Like if we can't get to at least the conference finals, it's over with for Mosley. For me, if that's me, like I said, I'm a big guy, and he changed the culture of the Orlando Magic a little bit. You know, I'm a big guy, big proponent in. Let these coaches play out their tenure if the team is improving. But if we stand stagnant, no, I don't want to see that. Like I don't want to.
Is this true? From Gavin G?
Even if it is, it doesn't mean nothing. Even if it is,
why wouldn't it mean anything?
Oh no,
I know you.
Why would it mean something? Everybody don't even play their guys.
That's
well,
very
if we're
true,
doing that, okay. So what's the difference? So Ron, what's the difference? Because Jordan just brought up an interesting point. Okay, Mars, we got to play faster in transition. We got to speed the game up more. Okay, the Miami Heat was one of the slowest teams in the league. They had one of the best defenses in the league. Meanwhile, they in the NBA.
They weren't one of the worst shooting teams in the league, though.
They're in the Eastern Conference Finals. Okay, so what's the difference between Mosley and Spo? Is it an X and O thing? Because they ain't playing fast. They're not advancing the ball. But they getting stops.
Miami shot 45% from three in the playoffs. That's how they got.
They lit it up that one. Don't get me wrong. They
was the
lit it up
that right?
season.
So that's why I said you got to pick a struggle. Either you can shoot the hell out the ball, which means if you play in the half court, you got spacing, and Miami have way better concepts in terms of 5-out delay stuff. But like just from a basic standpoint, just basic basketball, ignore as many X's and O's as possible. Either you run the hell out the ball because you can't shoot, which means defenses can't get set, which still give you easy opportunities, free throws, dunks, wide open corner threes, which you should be able to knock down at some relative clip. Or you shoot the hell out the ball, which means if you're not playing fast, your average half-court possession is either going to garner a really efficient three-point shot or a free throw or a rim attempt. That's what Miami did in 2023. They shot the hell out the ball. Orlando doesn't do either one. They're the worst three-point shooting team in the league. And among any team that has serious aspirations in the playoffs, they're the slowest team in the league. You're killing yourself, especially when you're one of the three best defenses in the NBA. There's no excuse to be that slow when you play defense. Last year, bear with me. Last year, the slowest team in the league in pace, I want to say might have been Miami, but I'll check.
One of the reasons
last year, the slowest team in the league was Boston, and Boston had the benefit of the spacing, so they were just mismatch attacking, spacing, drive kick, blah blah blah. Then Orlando, then Miami. They were the slowest three teams in the NBA. That's problematic.
One of the main
Orlando have no reason to be that slow.
One of the main reasons why your offense is as good as it is, people think that because you got a really good one-on-one players. No, one of the main reasons why teams' offenses are as good as they are because we get easy buckets. Like we get stuff going to the rim, that's why I bring up transition the way I do. Because in the half court, to your point, Drench, when we get in the half court, it's not easy to score. So we got to find ways to score easy, right? So if we running, I got an athlete like Paolo. I got to Mars' point. I got a wrecking ball like France. We got to get easy buckets. And I also got a shooter like KCP who hasn't really done that much in the last 2 years, but at some point we got to get back to that. Like shooting doesn't just go away. I don't know how shooting just goes away. Like if I can shoot the basketball, I should be able to just shoot the basketball. I could be in a slump, sure, but if I'm open, I should be able to knock down shots. Same thing with Suggs. Suggs has got to be able to score the basketball in transition, whether it's stop and pop, get to the rim. Now that's opening up more offense for us. Our offense will be better if we scored more in transition.
Drench, can I ask you a question, brother?
Sure.
Are you insane?
About what?
A little bit.
Okay. You talking about because what you just said about Spo, I heard that.
Spo? I'm a firm believer in sometimes you need a fresh start. Like, bro, I think at the end of the day, business is business, and winning. When you in business, you got to be in the business of winning. And I just feel like things could change for Spo. Like I think it could change for Spo. He could get a fresh start. He's the longest tenure coach. Just like I was saying it about Pop. I saw the same shit. Like the Spurs held on to Pop too long. Like, and they was gonna keep holding on to him. Like just keep doing it, and it's just like don't like
just about passed out. That's a fact.
Yeah, like that's crazy. But like
that's what happened.
Yeah, that is what happened. But it's just like sometimes you just need a change, and Spo probably would do better somewhere. Shit, send his ass to the Hornets. Need to goddamn make a trade for Spo. Shit, just like they did Doc Rivers with the Clippers. Like I just think shit. You just need a new scenery sometimes, and sometimes you need a new voice. Like it's not against Spo, nothing against Spo. It's just shit. Just time to go. Like you can't.
I hear you. It just sounds nuts to me because remember Classic remember Classic was saying that last season about firing Spo, and I was just like that sounds crazy.
It do, but like I said, we in business. It's not about like I love you, Spo. You did a lot for. He been with the Miami Heat for what 30 years? I think he been in that organization for 30 years.
Coach since 2008. He been their head coach.
Yeah, but he been in the organization before that.
He's
been in the organization for a very long time. It's like we love you, bro. Like, but this shit kind of hurt you. This shit gonna keep hurting. This shit you keep losing, or we don't make the playoffs. It's gonna eventually hurt. Jimmy Butler sacrificed a lot for them to make the playoffs and shit like that. You know, Jimmy Butler was that dude, but you don't got Jimmy Butler over there no more. I can't see the Heat making the finals no time soon.
Yo, we're going to get to the Heat in a second. They are in this division. But Big Ox, talk to me about the Orlando Magic because you seem to be the highest out of everybody that I know.
Yeah, I think I might be the highest. And I think I got reason to be that high. If we just go back based off of last year, I think obviously, you know, injuries and getting hurt is part of basketball, part of all sports, really. I think that those injuries really dampened what we were seeing from Orlando, and even through the injuries, they were able to persevere. Coach Mosley got him playing great defense. He has the personnel for a great defense. Jalen Suggs is, I think, the heartbeat of this basketball team, and as long as he's healthy, I think they're going to be a great team. They got a hell of a roster. I think going to get Desmond Bane was the nail in the coffin for the Eastern Conference. I think if they have Desmond Bane last year, and I think they make a much better.
Desmond Bane kind of put up a stinker in the playoffs, though. I ain't gonna lie, but you know they played against the Thunder. He was stinking
in a new environment, though. You know what I'm saying? New environment, just like you said, a fresh start. I think this is a good place for him because the thing about Desmond Bane being in Memphis, and this is no disrespect to Memphis, but that team was they were rough and rugged. They were fast paced. They were get after you.
Yeah.
But it was a lot of
lost Ja.
It was a lot of rah. I think over here in Orlando, they rah on the defensive end of the basketball court. So I think this is more suitable for him. I think this is a organization where he's going to be able to thrive. They need his 3-point shooting over there. And I think that was kind of the missing ingredient. Obviously, besides health last year, I think the 3-point shooting was a missing ingredient for them. And Desmond Bane brings that. On top of that, he's also a above average defender in my eyes. I don't know how y'all think. I think Desmond Bane.
I agree with that. So he's a good rebounder too. But at the same time, I say he's a good rebounder too, Ox. But at the same time, I agree with you that he is a missing piece for him. But still, they have to change the way they play a little bit. They got it benefits Desmond Bane if you play faster. Like,
right.
You know what I mean? Like, I think when the Thunder made Desmond Bane play slower, that's when you start seeing him look bad. So, you know, you don't have to speed it up.
They might got to speed it up. That's on coach to figure that out. Also, I think, you know, getting Mo back whenever they do get him back is gonna be big for them as well.
Yeah.
And also, even with that being said, though, Jordan, if they don't speed it up to what we think they should speed it up to, I think Desmond Bane can still shoot in the half court. You know what I mean? So I think that helps out. You know what I mean? I think your half court offense, if you got a shooter that can shoot in that set, it's going to do a lot for him. I'm high on them, Ron. I think they're clearly the best team in this division. I don't think it's really a debate to be had, and I think they'll finish definitely top 3 in the East.
Hey, Austin, chill. You know, like with the Magic, like it seems like this is not even just with the Magic. It seems like everybody in the NBA. It seems like you fix one problem and then next year you know you have two more problems. Like what if Paolo come back and he shoot worse? Like then
said
what?
that before.
You know what I mean? It's like
so I fixed the leak in the tub and now the sink leaking.
It's like, bro, that'd be the scariest thing for me when teams start improvement, unless they just get significant improvements all around. Like you got to have multiple improvements. Like maybe we don't get another Desmond Bane, but let's get somebody a half of Desmond Bane. Let's get a knockoff Desmond Bane or something.
Well, I
did they
think
get Duncan Robinson too?
No,
he went to the Pistons.
Oh, the Pistons. Okay, see, that's good for the Pistons. But they should have got Duncan Robinson too. Shit, fuck it. Like we need two.
I don't think Desmond Bane is enough to solve being the worst.
That's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. I don't think he's
they
enough.
They don't got to go from being like
Malik Beasley.
You know what I'm saying? But he's gonna improve.
I would get Malik Beasley too for sure.
Yeah, he helped. He for sure helps.
Yeah,
adding a shooter never doesn't help. Like never doesn't.
It just always seems to open up another problem.
Always got a spot.
But with as much as Paolo and Franz are projected to have the ball, they are gonna have to be able to make shots. It's quite simply is that Franz can't shoot 20% from three again. He just can't. Paolo has to shoot 34, 35, 36% from three. He has to. Like a lot of the spacing issues are still gonna be there if their two main ball handlers can't shoot the ball with consistency, regardless of the guys around them. Desmond Bane is going to get guarded like a shooter for sure. That is an improvement over KCP. Jalen Suggs has to show that he's a reliable three-point shooter because he had that year in 24 where he shot really well. Then they started putting the ball in his hands and having him run pick and roll. And then all of a sudden he couldn't shoot threes off the dribble as well as he could off the catch. And then his three-point percentage plummeted. So like the team has to be able to shoot the ball. If they're still shooting 33% as a team and not running, I see a cap on this team, which is probably the second round. But if they knock down threes or they play faster, I can see them going on a nice postseason run because their defense is that good. Yeah. Paolo and Franz are that talented. So,
but Drenchy, we also have to recognize what these guys' role is. Like, all right, what do I need to improve on for us to be better? So, to Mars' point, all right, I gotta be able to shoot the long ball better. I can get to the rim with the best of them. Yeah. I got to be able to shoot the long ball better. So that's what I got to work on. I think that's an upstairs thing because he can like that. We seen him in the Eurobasket over the summer. That hitch is gone. That hitch doesn't look like it's there.
Who are you talking about, Paolo?
No, I'm talking about Franz. That hitch isn't there anymore. So that hitch kind of looked like to me. It looked like the yips, like what happened with the kid that you guys love from Washington, who was shooting.
Markelle.
Yes, I think that hitch.
He should never change Markelle jump shot. One shit wrong with his shot.
Okay, so with that being said, maybe the mindset is clear. I'm coming into this season. I'm a lot more confident to shoot the basketball. Paolo, what do I need to get better at? Okay, I need to be a better playmaker. I need to be better on the glass. If I'm better on the glass,
but Franz shot 29% from three at Eurobasket.
Okay, but here's the difference, though, Mars. The difference is with him shooting 29%, the hitch is gone, though. Now,
yeah, but it don't matter if he ain't making it.
Now, here's the thing.
I agree. It looks better. It looks more viable.
But if he ain't making it, don't matter.
Yeah, it's still not going in.
Well, the point that I'm making with that is with the hitch being gone, he may never be a 37% shooter.
He was as a rookie.
Well, if he was as a rookie, then maybe we can get back to that. Okay,
that's the hope. Yeah, but he needs to.
Okay,
that's the point. Like,
okay, and with the hitch being gone, maybe we're on our way back to that. Right. So even if because with the hitch, it obviously was affecting the shot. The hitch is gone. Even though he's shooting, it looks like he's more confident in shooting the basketball. Even if it's not going in, the fact that he's actually doing it without the hitch, that's a change. Paolo, on the other hand, I want to see Paolo because I can appreciate your logic, Drenchy, about being able to shoot and being less efficient. That's not what I'm worried about with him. I think that I want to see him get on the glass more. I want to see him get to the rim more. That's what I want to see from Paolo.
Not for me with Paolo. I think I want to see Paolo get more efficient with his movement. Like I want to see Paolo stop making a lot of his shots difficult and realize, like, bro, the first time I ever heard of Paolo Banchero, bro, he was fucking 16 years old and he was like 6'7" and he was 230. I think he's 250 now or something like that. I think he's 6'10", 250. Like. He don't have to do all of the shit he do. It look cool. He got the skill set to do it. But I want to see him go quicker, and I think that may speed the magic up as well, too. If Paolo going quicker, because he can bruise a little bit, too. Like, just simplify his game. You know what I mean? Like, I think he can, I think even with Franz, like he may not ever be a good 3-point shooter, like no more going forward, but he can still be dominant if he just find a patented shot that he just goes to every single time. Like,
well, he has the floater.
Yeah, so he can go to that floater, but he need one more. He need like a LaMarcus Aldridge type.
He's good on the box. He's good on the box.
Midi. He need something like that. Like LaMarcus Aldridge didn't shoot a lot of threes, but he
the
killed
middies
you
a
with.
long way away. The middies are a long way.
I'm just saying he needs something else. I'm just saying he needs something else. Like LaMarcus Aldridge and Dirk shot the three well, but he didn't shoot a lot of threes. Like these players need something that's a go-to and that's dominant. Like, yes, it's not 3 points, but I would much have something than nothing. Like, and I think these players need that between Franz and Paolo. They need a go-to. This is money every time. We watch it with Asia Wilson and with the Aces, bro. Every time Asia get to that free throw line and rise up, that shit is money. I don't give a fuck how many threes she shoot. She don't shoot that many threes, but when she get that little pistol action and go baseline and pull up, it's money. We need that from Paolo and Franz. We need something like that.
Ron, I think I'm moving toward Drenchy Page because Jamal Mosley, if I'm looking at this roster, we got athletes. These dudes need to play faster. We got athletes on this crew.
Chill. Even
Tristan
on top of that,
Silva,
they young.
Isaac, Franz, Desmond, Anthony Black, Jet Howard, Paolo. Yo, we need to start playing faster, yo. We ain't playing fast.
And your best players need, your best. I don't know if I know Oklahoma City is a young team, but I wonder how many teams are looking at them as far as a blueprint. Like their best player, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, he's a good 3-point shooter. Doesn't shoot a lot of threes, but where does he get his bread and butter from? That just kills you. Where is not even just Shai? Where is the playoffs played at? The playoffs is played right there at that mid-range spot. You gotta have your best player has to be able to knock that down consistently, or you gotta shoot like Steph Curry, and what you never gonna do. So you gotta have that. Like I don't get like how each year, like coaches see this data, especially in the playoffs, and we talk about this in the playoffs. They make the same statements in the playoffs. There goes the mid range. You need it in the playoffs, but all year long, y'all gunning for these shots that sometimes you make them, sometimes you don't. Then you get in the playoffs with that sometimes strategy and you lose. Like Paolo and Franz, in order for the Magic to be taken serious, you got Desmond Bain, so we don't need y'all to up y'all 3-point value. I think I need y'all to be more efficient at a go-to shot. That's it to me, in my eyes.
That's more attainable for Paolo, like the mid-range shot. Like, he's very willing to shoot the mid-range. The issue is he's not the most efficient at it. Franz is just a way away from having.
He ways away. Franz needs something else though. But that's what I'm saying.
Because right now everything with him is floaters and finishing at the rim, which he's really good at. I think he's one of the best downhill.
But you're not gonna get.
He has no game outside of 15 feet, like at all. Like no scoring game outside of 15 feet. So hopefully he can refine that. I don't know, but someone said that Franz's numbers were better before the knockout rounds in Eurobasket. Which looking at them, he's not wrong. Like you got 0 for 2. Then 1 for 2, 2 for 4, 3 for 4. So those first 4 games, he's all right. Then 1 for 5, 0 for 4, 0 for 3, 3 for 8, 1 for 6. So like the first 4 games of Eurobasket, you could see like, oh, it looked cool, and then it went away. He said he got given a lot of grenades. I could watch all of the shots to like confirm that. Can't be bothered. I'm gonna just take his word. But like, he's still like the indicators suggest Franz is a better shooter than the numbers say. Like he's a really good free throw shooter, really good touch on floaters, really good touch in general. That should normally lend to he has shooting ability. Then I look at Franz as a rookie, shot like 36% from 3. I think that was the number. I want to just make sure I get it absolutely correct. Franz as a rookie, where is he? Franz as a rookie was 35% from 3. Year 2, he was 36%. So like there's a workable base there that like Franz has shown he can shoot the ball. It's just the last 2 years he's
his role
combined
after
29%. I agree,
a little bit,
but he's also like if I look at his 3-point shot quality this past year. He had some of the most wide open threes I've ever seen. And he's just not even coming close. Yeah. Like they were way off the mark. And then in the playoffs, he shot 22% in his 12 playoff games. Like it's just that's not tenable at this point, especially when you have no mid-range game to go to, like Franz. So that's the biggest thing for him. Paolo, I think he's just got to be able to leverage his physicality better. You can't overpower someone and then shoot a 20-foot turnaround. That just doesn't add up. You can't be having a mismatch in the post you bump him all the way to where he's all the way in the restricted area, and you're deciding to pick up your dribble and shoot fades. Like, no, you have to just put your shoulder into people, draw fouls, finish at the rim. The mid-range stuff should be a nice counter, but when it's your go-to, like, I get Jordan's point about you need to have a go-to, but I think you mean a go-to as in you have something that you can get to reliably, but it shouldn't be your first option.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying you need to do that every time. Yeah, not that. I do think Paulo. I do think Paulo would benefit better by getting to the free throw line more. Like, he has to find a way to shoot more free throws. Like, he had like that, and that's a part of Shai's game. Like, that's a part of Shai's game too. Like, Shai has the ability to just continue to get to the free throw line, and he rip your heart out when he don't get to the free throw line by shooting a mid-range jump shot. And then, if need be, Shai has a really weird strategy on shooting threes. Like, and I kind of follow this pattern a little bit. Like, he take a little bit more chances a little bit earlier on in the game from shooting a three, and then when it's time for closing time, he got his rhythm already at the mid-range spot. He gets to the free throw line, and it's over with. So I think it's just picking and choosing for me. Like, you got to pick and choose. In this league with strategy, you got to pick and choose what you do and how you do it. And if we just don't have no structure around it, I think that's what the Hornets offense look like. It looks like they don't have much structure. You just relying on your best player to take you home. And that's cool, but if you ain't that good, it's not gonna happen. So
how do y'all feel about Franz with the ball though? Like, as far as like decision making?
I think he's a really good decision maker.
In transition, particularly. I love him in transition with the ball.
My issue with Franz is his isolation stuff. I think him out pick and roll was really good. Him in the post to Chill's point, really good. His biggest issue, I think, is his ability to create for himself. So, like, him and Paolo are kind of inverse.
Out of pick and roll,
Paolo struggles. Anything but isolation. I like Franz creating for himself and others. Isolation is where he really struggles. But like, Paolo is kind of the opposite. He like thrives in isolation, and everything else seems to be like lagging behind a little bit. So like, if they could just mold into one, that would be cool. But to Jordan's point, Paolo draws a foul on 21% of all of his drives. Like, that's an elite number. Like, if we're looking at comparing that to other people, I think
how often does he drive into the rim?
He drove. Oh my god, I got bear with me.
Sure.
Per game, he had about 6 drives a game.
That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
Because if you're drawing a foul 1/5 of the time, like that's free offense all the time. So like, he's got to lean into what his strength is, and then make the counters what they are, which is counters, not make the counters the go-tos, and then only drive when it's opportune for you. Like, lean into your physicality. Like, I remember I watched Paolo's first NBA game. He played the Pistons. I remember. He was a grown man at 19. He was a grown man at 16. That's how I'm playing. Like, he was one of the few wings I've ever seen where he was physically dominant. As a rookie. Not he can handle NBA physicality. No, he could impose his will physically as a rookie from day one.
I had asked Ron.
I'm watching him in year 4.
I watched him do it at 16.
And like, he's not imposing his physicality the way he can. So like, that's my biggest issue.
I had asked Ron that. I was like, Ron, how big is this dude? Because he looks like a mammoth.
Bro, he's like 250 now, bro.
I just seen Paolo at the Storm Aces game just like a couple weeks ago when I went to the game too. And that young man is huge,
bro. And he
how big is he legit? Is he legit 6'10"?
Bro.
He's quite a bit bigger than me, Chill.
And Ox ain't no small dude. Ox 6'8", 6'9". Legit.
Every bit is 6'9".
Yeah, no, chill. Paulo that young man is big. Chill.
Bro, he's 250, bro. When I seen that, bro, I was like, bro, I'm like, bro, this man was 19 years old, 250. Like, bro, you know how crazy that is?
That's crazy.
19 and 250.
I know one thing. When I came across him at the Pro-Am, I made him look small. But
you didn't want nothing to do with him, Ron.
That's just me, though. That's just me, though.
I watched Paulo, Ron. I watched Paulo at 16. This one I said he was the best player in the country. He was 16 and he played in that little Zeke in. I think it was either Isaiah Thomas or Jamal Crawford. He might have played in both. But
he definitely played in both. That's when I played against him last, it was in the Zeke end. It wasn't the Pro.
Bro, and I'm seeing him just getting out of high school and he dominating NBA talent. Like
16 years old. I mean, I'm sorry, 18 years old.
No, he was about 16, 17. He was about 16 and 17. Like, just dominating. Just like, damn. Like Mars was saying about when his first NBA game, like, he was imposing his will and it was just too easy for him. Like, he didn't look like he was panicking. That shit was just like, and I'm like, bro, they saying who better than him? Like, nah, Paulo Banchero is the best player. Even at in college, when they was talking about Jabari Smith Jr., I'm like, I like Jabari Smith Jr.
Oh yeah, I never listened to
Paulo Banchero is way better than him. Like Banchero and Chet, I'm like, I seen Chet in high school. Paulo Banchero is way better than him. Like,
I still think that they're a year
wasn't
away.
close.
I do.
Huh?
I think that this Orlando team, I still think that they're a year away. I don't think that, as much as I love Paulo and all the attributes that he has in his game to get to that midi, especially with his weekend, I really like that. Him getting downhill. I still think that they're a year away because I don't like the point guard spot, and I don't think that they get enough buckets from the point guard spot. That's my issue. And
I don't even think they try though, Chill. I don't think they necessarily try.
And that's not going to get it done. Yo, we at the point guard spot, we need you to be able to score. And again, I know I sound like a broken record with this, but at the point guard spot, we need you to be able to score consistently. You don't have to average 30, but 12, 13, 14, that's not enough. That's not.
First thing we need Jalen Suggs to do is get that shit off his head. He holding on too long.
He already did, didn't he?
No.
No,
I thought he did.
He just wears a headband. He just wears
Yeah,
a
him
headband.
and that dude for the King.
That shit is
get
like
that
that shit is
bozo
like
the
back.
clown
Yeah,
head off their head.
Me, Jalen Suggs, and Devin Carter, we like just brothers right now. Like, we just
Hey,
Yeah, I'm
y'all
like,
hold
yo,
it on to
keep
some
holding
shit,
on to
boy.
it.
Fellas,
Let that shit go.
before we move on to the next team, I just want to ask you guys what standing or what ranking do you think that the Orlando Magic will finish at in terms of seeding? What
In the
seed you guys
conference?
think
I mean, in a conference?
Yeah.
Or I mean, a division or the conference?
No, the conference.
Top 4. I mean, I always have them top 4.
I got
3
three
through
defend
5.
too,
That's what happened. 3 through 5.
3
I
through
got
5.
them at the 3 spot.
It'll be them, the Pistons, and Atlanta, in my opinion.
As far as
All
the
right.
division, I got them as the best team in the division.
All
I
right,
have them as
cool,
the
yo.
best or second best. I don't.
All right, we're gonna move on to the next team. Before I do that, there are a couple super chats, so I'm gonna go ahead and read these, and then we'll talk about the Atlanta Hawks next year and why that is, in fact,
Atlanta
the best
who?
team in this division.
The Hawks.
Hawks. The Atlanta Hawk Twos.
Hawk sandwich. Okay.
Jonathan Frazier said, "It sounds like Jordan is mainly factoring in scoring when it comes to LaMelo's self-creation, but playmaking is also a part of the equation too."
Yeah, I mean, I just think I was factoring in from what I saw, the shit. I don't think he's justified for some of the shit that is done. I just think they could do a lot more than what they've shown. That's all I'm saying. And if it worked, I'm thinking if they change it up, do more than what they've shown, I think they will have better results than they had last year. That's all I was saying.
It's hard to have worse results, to be fair.
You said who?
It's hard to have worse results than they have.
Yeah, yeah. But I'm just saying, for us to go out there for 82 games and have the same strategy is ridiculous. Like, that's called a joke.
I mean, it's hard to defend Charles Lee away from LaMelo. To defend Charles Lee, it's hard to build what you want to build when the players you're meant to build it with play like less than 82 games.
Absolutely.
So, like, it's everything I hear from Charlotte. They say that they're preaching accountability. They say that they're trying to hold everyone to a standard. Blah blah blah. Now, does that actually come to fruition? Yeah, does it come to fruition? I don't know, but that's what they say they're doing. So maybe he's trying to instill a culture over there. I know he's trying to instill some of that Boston identity, which a lot of people don't like, but he is trying to win the 3-point battle. He is trying to generate a lot of threes. Do I agree with that strategy based on the roster? Not necessarily, but I think Brandon Miller and Conker Nipple are some of the better shooters. So it's like, I understand what's trying to go on, but I still think at best they're going to be a 12 seed. So I just don't think the roster's good enough right now. But if they get a Cam Boozer or a Darren Peterson or an AJ, then I think you can start to see, like, okay, how does this roster look when you have Brandon Miller, Cam Boozer, and LaMelo? Like, then
but then again, Mars, to that point, I'm sometimes, like, I can see the point of tanking, but also for me, like, this has been my biggest thing with this. You don't really know what your team need if y'all don't play to y'all best effort. Like,
I don't think they're going to tank. I think they're just going to serve. Like, they're just going to organically serve.
I know, fellas. Okay. We already talked about the Hornets, so we're going to go ahead and keep it pushing. Unlimited Z said, Jordan be moving the goalposts like crazy.
I don't think I do, but sure.
All right. Tupac Westside 474 said, Marc Gasol was an elite passer, but I think he only averaged 4 assists, right?
Powell was an elite passer too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, let's get to Atlanta. The Hawks are a team that I believe will make some noise in the East, y'all. Trae Young is Trae Young. We don't necessarily need to talk about him too much. We know who Trae Young is. We know what Trae Young does. We know his deficiencies. We know, he's a very good point guard. Now, they added Kristaps Porzingis. They added Nickeil Alexander-Walker. They added Luke Kennard. Jalen Johnson is back from injury. Zachary Ricochet, who was the #1 overall pick last year, he's going into his second season. Dyson Daniels is going into his fourth season. Their young players got older.
Don't forget my guy, Muhammad Gay.
Facts,
Muhammad too.
That's my guy right there.
So, fellas, what are your thoughts on this on this Atlanta team?
I'm very high on Atlanta. Like really, really high on Atlanta. Like really high on Atlanta. I think
You got some lean too.
I think if they're building around Trae, they've done the best thing you can do when you build around Trae. Put a bunch of defense, length, and play finishes around him. That's what they've done. Porzingis, I think, is going to be really good for them, assuming health. In the preseason, he's looked good, a lot of high-low action. Zachary Ricochet looks a lot better going in from Eurobasket into the preseason. He looks a lot better. Really good off-ball scorer. Someone who, although I don't see superstar upside and he's a #1 pick, so people might be disappointed, I think he's just going to fit this team seamlessly. Really good feel for when to cut. Really good spot-up shooter. Competes on defense. Really good size on the wing. Jalen Johnson is one of the better young players in the league. Did we have him in the top 15 when we did the 25 under 25?
I think we had him top 20. I don't think
Jalen Johnson's really
we did
really
it.
good.
Yo, we didn't have Jalen Johnson.
No,
he wasn't in the top 15.
He was on his way to making an All-Star team before he got hurt. He was on his way to
Jalen Johnson is
because
really
of injury,
good.
though,
A problem.
Yeah. He was on his way.
Yeah, that's possible. But I mean, I had Zion at #3, so I don't know. But it's like Jalen Johnson's really good. Trae Young is one of the, to make sure no one just gets mad, one of the 5 best passers on the planet. One thing I've liked in preseason is Trae is getting off the ball and they're running things for him to get him wide open catch and shoot opportunities. And I think you're going to see that Trae can really shoot the hell out of the ball. Not saying he's going to shoot 40% from 3. I'm not projecting that. But Trae can shoot. Porzingis can shoot. Ricochet can shoot. They've added Luke Kennard, who's one of the best spot-up shooters in the NBA. Nickeil can shoot. So they've added spacing, defense, and they're basically saying, let Trae run our offense, create for everyone. And defensively, we're going to hold it down. And I think this is a really good team. My only concern is the non-Trae minutes. Who do I trust to initiate offense?
They need another guard. They need another point guard.
That's the only thing. If they still had Karis LeVert on this team, they would be my number.
Mars, the thing though is
they should have got D'Angelo.
But they'd be up there. They'd be in that tier 1 contenders in the East.
I can appreciate that, and this is what I'm talking about, Mars. When I talk about guys getting better and guys improving, when Trae Young goes off the floor, they take Dyson Daniels and they move him to the 1, and it actually works when he plays the 1. So,
I mean, of course, it's gonna be worse than Trae Young, but
no, it works.
Oh, you said it works. Oh,
it actually works when they move him to the 1, and I think that he gets better this season. I look to see him become more of a scorer. I look to see him become more of a shooter. Now, am I saying that he's going to average 19 or 25 a game, something like that? No, I'm not going that far. No, I'm not going that far.
I don't think Jalen Johnson.
When you're a point guard,
when
you're a point guard, especially with the second unit, you got to keep defenses honest. And I felt like Dyson Daniels, when he moved to the 1, he got guys more involved. He kind of gave me the vibe that he is more of a distributor, like that role that he was in when he was playing backup point guard. Like he looked real comfortable in it. So I feel like he's going to implement being more of a scorer this season on that crew. I think the thing we're leaving out, because all of the points that Mars made are valid, I think the thing that we're leaving out, Quinn Snyder is a damn good ass coach, and I think that rotation
systematic.
That he
has, he's a very, very systematic coach.
That rotation that he has, because the guy that you guys didn't bring up, Okongwu, I'm waiting for that Okongwu.
I don't know, Chill. I don't know, Chill. I know Okongwu, like. I see some good things, and then I be seeing some bad things. I see a lot of bad things.
You be hating on my guy Onyeka, man.
I do be hating on him.
I'm not the highest on Onyeka either.
Bro, I be like, bro, because sometimes he look good, and then sometimes it's like, bro, are you trying today? Like, did you have your coffee? Like, that's how it be sometimes with Okongwu. And then sometimes he'll surprise me. Like, then it's like sometimes it's like he'll surprise me, but I'm way higher on Muhammad Gay than I am Okongwu. Like,
well, Muhammad Gay is just a long way away offensively, but defensively, I'd argue he's there. I don't want to disrespect Porzingis. But I can make the argument he's their best defensive big. That's how good Mohamed Gay is on defense.
Yeah.
Offensively, it's just he's a long
Yeah,
way
I think
away.
offensively, he's just playing too fast. Like he does everything so fast. It's like slow down, brother. Like you already, I think he's like 6'10. He's around that 6'10. If he just slow down, he don't have to play as fast. I was training a kid yesterday, and I'm like, bro, you too tall to be playing that fast, bro. Like if you play fast, at the end of the day, you LeBron James. That ain't gonna happen. So slow it down a little bit. Like Mohamed Gay be out there just playing 100 miles a minute sometimes, and I'm like, slow down.
Yo, Big Ox, what are your thoughts on the Atlanta Hawks?
A lot of talent. I got a lot of talent. I like the KP acquisition. Obviously, I'm with Mars. I wish they could have hung on to my man Karis LeVert. Hate to do it again this season, but some of the guys they're going to rely on are still kind of young. I'm a little inexperienced. I was proven last year that doesn't too much matter nowadays, but still just not sure about the Hawks. I think they will be 4, 5, 6 seed, somewhere in that running, as long as they stay healthy. They got good defense. Dyson Daniels came over there and turned up. I like my man Luke Kennard as well. I have nothing negative to say about this basketball team. I don't know about Okongwu either. I know he's a good player. I don't know about Okongwu either though. So I don't know, Ron. I don't got too much to say about Atlanta. I like their talent and everything. I'm not super high on them. I'm definitely not low on them. You know what I'm saying, Ron? I think they'll be about a 4 seed though, 4 or 5 seed for sure. Shout out to
Ron,
Atlanta.
is Okongwu one of those guys?
Really good this offseason.
Is Okongwu one of those guys who Laurie Marketing would just eat his lunch, but then he would go play against Cat and put like 20 and 15 on him? Is that the type of dude he is?
20 and 15, maybe.
I mean, I understand some of the stuff about like consistency with Onyeka. Yeah. I kind of hear it, but I also think his minutes were kind of inconsistent for a while.
That's what I was thinking.
But they're like, for me, it's like blatantly obvious when Onyeka played instead of Clint Capella, the Hawks were just better. Like whether that's because of his touch around the rim, the floater that he can get to, he can still finish vertically. He added a little corner 3 to his game this past year, and then defensively, he's got way more mobility than Capella has at this point. Like, so do I think he's the perfect player? Do I think he's going to average 16 and 10 if that's how you want to measure Onyeka? Probably not. But I do think if he's out there, he's not hurting you. And having a backup big behind Porzingis who can come in and play differently but still be impactful is major, I think. And I think he has good synergy with Trae Young. And I think they've even experimented with some double big stuff where it's Porzingis and Onyeka, and he's shown the ability to play the dunker spot. He's a good passer as well, so like they've been able to alternate with that stuff. So it's like he's just versatile in the ways you can deploy him.
Who else do they have besides KP and Onyeka down there? Like what's their complete big rotation?
You got Onyeka, KP, Mohamed Gay, and then they drafted Asa Newell, who went to college at Georgia. I don't know how much he's going to play.
Too.
They do,
Jalen Johnson too.
Yeah, they do. I don't know how much Nafali's going to play.
He'll do big man.
Jalen Johnson, if you want to factor him into the
he'll do big man.
He'll play the 5 a little bit.
So like they've got options. So like if I was to do a pecking order, just pure bigs, I'm gonna leave Jalen Johnson out of it. It would be Porzingis, Onyeka, Mohamed Gay, and then Asa Newell. And I would say 2 of them are like legitimately impactful players in Porzingis and Onyeka. Right. Mohamed Gay is a really impactful defender, but we have to see the offense come along. And Asa as a rookie, it's going to be tough, but he's like a 4 or 5. Like he can play both. It's just tough to see where he's going to fit into all of this. But I think they have a really competent big rotation. And also, Trae just makes his bigs a lot better. So like when I factor that into the equation, it's like I think that front court's going to be really good, especially when you add in Jalen Johnson to that. And then they've added defense on the wings with Nikhil and Dyson Daniels still being there. Zachary Risache looks like he's going to take a good jump. I'm not saying he's going to average 18, but I think he's going to be a lot better defensively, and he really knows his role offensively, and that's really all you can ask for a second-year player. So for me, I think they're the 3rd or 4th best team in the East, depends on how I feel about Orlando. But they're in that 3 through 5 range with the Pistons. So like I have the Knicks and Cavs cemented as the top 2. And then 3 through 5 is the Pistons, Magic, and Atlanta in some order. So that's right.
You know how you felt about Dallas, I want to say a couple years ago when Dallas was either they getting bounced in round 1 or they could be in the NBA Finals. That's how I feel about this Atlanta team. I do. I feel like that. I feel like this team is one of those teams where we get deep into the playoffs, and because I love how Coach Snyder uses his rotation guys. You think that losing Karis LeVert is going to be a big deal. I think that adding Alexander Walker is huge for them. And adding Luke Kennard also, I think that that's a big deal. And I love how he's going to implement I love how he's going to implement Nickeil Alexander-Walker more as a long ball shooter, not necessarily in isolation as much. I do think the Karis LeVert was more of a ball handler, but I don't think that that's a big deal because, like I just said, we moved Dyson to the 1, and we can get Alexander-Walker more involved in the offense because he can get to that. He can get to that mid range. He can knock down the long ball, and I also got Luke Kennard on the wing too, where we can run action for him. So I don't think losing Karis LeVert is that big of a deal. I do think it's a big deal, but I don't think it's that big of a deal.
Dyson, you said Dyson to the 1 too?
When Trae Young is off the floor, we move Dyson to the 1 and it works.
That's this team. I don't think, with all due respect, I don't think they have any finals action at all. With all due respect, but Mars, the reason I asked you that question about the front court and whatnot, your answer with that, what I heard was KP has to be healthy.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, this falls apart without KP.
Stay healthy. I mean, when I'm saying that, I'm talking about
KP and Trae are their two most important players. One of them goes down.
That goes without saying though. Like with every team, I can go by and say this guy has to be healthy. This guy has to be healthy.
If Kawhi is not healthy, the Clippers can stay afloat in the regular season.
But they're not going to do anything in the post.
Oh, for sure. But I'm just saying regular season 2. If KP's not there, I
think without even if KP goes down, this is still a playoff team. This is still a top 6 team in the East. With Onyeka there, this is still a top.
If Philly's healthy, I don't know if they're top 6. If Philly's healthy, I don't know.
That's why I said that, because that doesn't go without saying, Ron. Because you have a bunch of teams, and Orlando being one of them, where you can lose to one of your top 3 guys and you still be competitive. I think if the Hawks lose KP for any extended amount of time, that boom, season down the drain.
This team, even without Kristaps, is more talented than the team that Trae Young took to the Eastern Conference Finals years ago.
Oh yeah, man,
I'm saying,
what seed were they when they made the conference finals?
I'm saying that to say, I'm looking at the East right now, and I'm looking at this Atlanta team with obviously Trae Young. I think this is the best Trae Young has been. This is the best. This is the best that Trae Young's been. This is the best big that Trae Young's had. This is the best second option that Trae Young's had in Jalen Johnson. He got the defenders. Okay. Zachary Ricochet, I'm expecting a big step from Zachary Ricochet. You guys might not be as high on Zach as I am. Zach is legitimately 6'9".
Didn't you say, who did you say? You said Kevin Durant. Yeah, you said Kevin Durant. I remember you. You did. You said rookie KD. That's what you said. I remember. You said Zachary Ricochet reminds me of
Ron. How good did you? So Zachary Ricochet.
I don't remember saying that, but if I did,
God damn, Mars, how many factor meals you had on that motherfucker? God damn. But I don't know Zachary Ricochet. I don't know Mars. I
don't even want to get into that. I don't even want to get into that.
Okay, cool. What I want to ask you.
Hold on, right quick, Jordan. Hold on, wait. I'm just. Can I get off what I gotta say about the Atlanta Hawks?
How high you are?
Can I get it off? What I'm saying is, I'm looking at all these teams in the East. The only team that I believe is just definitively better than this team, and I still question that, is the Cleveland Cavaliers. In the East, chill, is the Cleveland Cavaliers. After that, we seen what Halliburton did as a high-level point guard with competent pieces and a solid defense around him. Trae Young is a better point guard with better defenders and better pieces around him than the Pacers had last year. I think this team is going to be. They have the best perimeter defender. The GMs will tell you that. They got Zachary Ricochet, who's a hell of a defender, can guard 1 through 4. Kristaps Porzingis is underrated as a big man defender. He's a good rim protector. He moves his feet
better than any rim protector Indiana had. Better than
and they got Nickeil Alexander Walker now too. They got some good ass defenders over there. Mohamed Gay too. Hold on, right quick before you guys push back. I just want to finish my point. All I'm saying is I believe this is the second best team in the East. I think that they'll finish number 2, and I think come playoff time, when we get there, you guys are going to really feel a little different about this team. I think Trae Young, now that he has competent offensive pieces, and I believe this is one of the best defenses he's had around him, I think we're going to see something a little different from this Hawks team.
Detroit in 5.
I'm very high on them.
Detroit in 5. They play Detroit. Detroit beating that ass.
Based
I
on
don't know
what,
about
Ox?
that. I don't know. about that.
Based on what, Ox? Everything you got, I got it. Whatever you got, I got. How y'all smoking us? How? Your point guard ain't super nice. Like your point guard ain't clearing my point guard. Let's start there. Your point guard is not clearing my point guard. Let's start right there. Then on top of that,
my mind on Cade has changed significantly.
Okay, I'm sure it has. But my mind has not changed on Trae Young. I'm still one of the 5 best point guards in the game, arguably. No doubt about that. You just got to the party. Let's start there, right?
Hey, y'all get ready to start talking top 3 with Trae this year. Just get ready.
Remember
I said it.
No.
Remember I said it.
Dominate you.
Y'all know how I feel about Trae Young, but
Go ahead, Childo. I ain't mean to cut you off though. Go ahead,
basically
Childo.
Your point guard doesn't clear my point guard. So that 2 guard that you got who got hurt last year, who I do think is going to be much better this year, I can tell you right now, my dude Dyson Daniels shutting the door on that. We shutting the door on that.
Well, Dyson's guarding
He's
Cade.
gonna be, He's gonna be.
He ain't shutting the door on Cade either.
I think Dyson's better than Jaden Ivey.
Yes, and we shutting the door on that. So now you got Ox, you got your.
I don't know, Mars. I don't know. We're gonna have to see Jaden Ivey this year for me. I would agree with you.
I go see if Jaden Ivey's better than he was, then
he was 18 a game last year before he got hurt.
How many games he played? 7?
If Dyson's locking Cade, then the Store's locking Trae.
I didn't say he was. I didn't say he was locking.
That's facts. That's facts.
Right.
That's facts. That's
I
facts.
didn't say he was locking him.
All right, then they both get locked.
Didn't Trae have a game winner on us all?
That don't got nothing to do with nothing, though. That don't got nothing to do with nothing.
And to your point, locking him, you ain't
But
locking
I like Asar and Trae. I like that matchup. But Trae will get him in foul trouble. Trae will get him in foul trouble.
Yes, he will. Okay, so now we got now Ox, you got your dirty word guys. The reason why we can play both. The reason why we can play both. Kongwu.
Damn, what the fuck was I? It seemed like Jaden only played like 7 games. What the hell?
The reason.
Go ahead.
So Ox, the reason why we can play both KP and Okongwu, and Okongwu can play in the dunker spot because KP can stretch the defense. KP can play either at the nail, he can also play on the wing. That's why Okongwu and not only can he play on the wing, you got to honor that jump shot. So now I got a guy like Isaiah Stewart, who I'm dragging away from the basket, and now that affects their rebounding. Then you got Jalen Duren, who with KP, I can rim protect. I need to see Jalen Duren be better this season. I haven't seen it yet, but I do need to see him be better this season. So with the perimeter players that the perimeter players that we have, right? So with the perimeter players that we have, not only with the perimeter players that we have, with the rotation guys we have, with a guy like Duncan Robinson, okay, we counted that with Alexander Walker, or we counted that with, Luke Kennard, and with your rotation guys, we counted that with our rotation guys smoking us. Nah, let's chill out with that. I think that's a 6-7 game dogfight.
That's fair.
I think it's a lengthy series. That's fine. I don't know who wins. I think it's a lengthy series.
I would say to Ron's point about if Porzingis get hurt, and as long as Trae is playing, I feel like they was solid. With Jalen Johnson last year. Then he got hurt. So they don't necessarily need Porzingis to survive in the East. It's not the West, but to make a playoff run, they're gonna need Porzingis. But Porzingis can miss 40 games, and as long as Jalen Johnson
were 18-18 when Jalen Johnson played. So they were 500.
That's fine. That's all you need to eat shit. That shit get a little shaky.
So not being the play-in. The 500 is probably the play-in.
That's all you need. That's all you need.
Yeah, I'm fine. I said they'll be in the play-in if KP goes down.
Yeah.
But
okay.
I think this team is capable of being the 3 seed in the East if that helps.
Oh, yeah. I'm just saying Jalen Johnson coming into this was his 4th year. One of them.
Johnson. He got drafted in 2020, so it's a year 6.
Yeah.
Year 5 or 6. One of them. He should be. That's what I'm saying. Him and Trae with Ricochet and Nickeil Alexander-Walker and a rotation of bigs, even without Porzingis, and I know we put this
juju in
2021,
sorry, year 5. Yeah,
and even I know we put this juju on Porzingis, but shit, you got to with players like that. Them motherfuckers just stay hurt. But I just feel like they would be all right even if Porzingis don't play. Like I think he would be all right if he missed 30 games. They just need him for the playoffs. If Porzingis is there in the playoffs, dangerous. I wouldn't want to play them first in the first round. I wouldn't want to play them in the second round. I just wouldn't want to play them. Like I would try to avoid them because Trey do heat up in the playoffs too. So I think they'll be all right.
Knicks.
Oh, the Knicks don't want to see nothing with Trey. They don't want to see nothing.
Cleveland neither. That's why I said that they can either get bounced in the first round or they can end up in the NBA Finals. Because to be honest with you, y'all know how I feel about Cleveland. I don't want nothing to do with Atlanta. I don't.
You know how I feel about Cleveland.
I don't want nothing to do with them dudes. Nothing. So I'm looking at Detroit. And I'm looking at all them other teams going, get them dudes out of here. Yes, bounce them.
Detroit. And Detroit got some talent though. Just can Cade Cunningham become a top 10 player in the NBA next year?
Mm-hmm.
If he do, he gonna need to. But I don't know if it's that tough. It's about time he turned that corner. Though.
What, I'm the NBA is?
I damn near expect that.
I'm not saying it's tough. I'm not saying it's tough because Cade isn't talented. I'm saying it's tough.
Oh yeah.
The top 10 is hard to get into. There's a lot of good guys.
It's about time he turned that corner.
Is year 5?
That's when you turn that corner.
I can see Cade and potentially Paulo stepping into that top 10 this year.
Yeah, I mean,
really see that happen.
I think Paulo's a lot further away than Cade.
Yeah. But I just think it's about time.
Cade top 10 players, Ron? Is that what we doing?
Bruh, really for what he wants to do.
So are you projecting a regression from Steph, KD, and Bron?
Mm-hmm.
And then Kawhi.
And it doesn't have to be all 3 or 4 of them. It could just be one of them.
Yeah.
It could literally just be a flip-flop where Cade takes his game to the next level, and then one of them guys just kind of, falls back a little bit.
So Joker, Giannis, SGA, Luka, Anthony Davis, KD, Donovan Mitchell.
Oh, slow down.
Anthony Edwards, Wemby, Curry. I didn't even mention James. I didn't mention Jalen Brunson. Where does Cade fall? Did I say? I didn't say KD.
Right there. Cade fall right there around Donovan Mitchell.
I thought I was
just about to say
Donovan Mitchell is not top 10.
That's what I'm saying. Though, if people can start putting Donovan Mitchell in their top 10,
it's okay though.
Which Chill, you've been saying that you believe that Donovan Mitchell's around the top or around the top 10.
I
think Cade jumps into that argument this year, where it's like he's fringe. Some people may have him at 9, and maybe some people that are ultra high that have him at 7 or 8. And then it's gonna be some people that have
Donovan Mitchell. I'd argue he's in that conversation right now.
Is Cade better than Devin Booker today?
No, you was about to say Donovan Mitchell. He better than Donovan Mitchell.
He is not better than Donovan Mitchell. No, he is not.
I think so, Chill. I think this. So if Donovan Mitchell's on the Pistons, let's just flip him. And I know you guys don't really like to do this, but if he's on the Pistons, does he lead them into the playoffs like that? Are they a 6 seed?
Yes.
No,
yes. I don't know. It's different. I don't know. Like it's hard for me to
put Cade on the cap.
But I think Cade, Donovan Mitchell, and Devin Booker, I think is a valid conversation. I think that all you can group them together.
Donovan Mitchell is last.
I'd probably say Devin Booker is the best of the 3, and then Cade and Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah, Donovan Mitchell last, right? Yeah, there we go.
But Cade could surpass Devin Booker. Like, I'm not writing that off. I'm not saying that's impossible.
Nah, not for me. This deep book year for me. This the year he come out and show y'all he the best shooting guard in the league. But we'll see.
This is year we're in year 10
I might have that
or 11. What the hell are we doing, Jordan?
Well, Devin Booker was the best 2 guard in the league for a few years, and then
exactly.
Came along. So it's like James Harden. It was James Harden, and then it was Devin Booker. And then Ant, I think, just took it. But Devin Booker
I always had this conversation between Devin Booker and Donovan Mitchell. This was when Donovan Mitchell was in Utah. This was a real conversation that we were having.
I've always thought Devin Booker.
The reason why you don't have it, and you can't. I'm not gonna let you get my blood pressure up. I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah, I never had that conversation.
I don't think there's been a day in my life I thought Donovan Mitchell was better than Devin Booker.
That's what I said. Me neither, bro. Like not one day.
I'm in the minority.
Not even in college. Look, and I
think Donovan Mitchell might have had better seasons.
Not even in college.
He might have a season where he played better.
Of course, you don't think he's better at basketball than Devin Booker. Okay, sure. And that's aesthetics. I can appreciate the aesthetics because I might think somebody is better at basketball than you do just by watching them. I thought that Russell Westbrook was better at basketball than Derrick Rose. Just watching him. That dude better than that dude, right? So aesthetically, I can appreciate that. Okay. With that being said, when I watch Donovan, and I don't want to turn this around into a Donovan Mitchell conversation. I'm not doing that because we're talking about the Southeast.
Well, next team is the Wizards, so we can take as much time as we want.
No, we got the Heat still.
Yeah.
Oh,
Wizards. Yeah, the Wizards are being talked about today.
Wow, we're not talking about the Wizards. When I watch the progression of Donovan Mitchell, the athleticism of Donovan Mitchell, the pull-up game of Donovan Mitchell, how he passes, how he play makes, and how that has happened, how much better he's gotten over the years with doing that. I just think he's the best two guard in the game today. Now, is that going to change in a year, maybe 2 years? It could, because Anthony Edwards is on his way, 100%. He definitely is on his way. But as of today, in October of 2025, I think Donovan Mitchell is the best two guard in the game.
Chill. Not even with Ant. I think Ant and Cade is valid conversations. And the more and more I think on it, Cade might actually be better than Ant.
Oh boy.
Them turnovers are problematic, man.
Ant be having them too. But also too,
Cade might be. I think Cade might be the most turnover prone player in the NBA.
He could potentially be, but also too though.
Especially as a primary ball handler, and that includes Trey, that includes LaMelo Ball as a primary ball handler. Yes.
Yeah, but one thing too, and I mean you guys seem to harp on it more, and it seems to bother you guys more than it does me. With the quarterback, when I get more touchdowns, I expect to get more interceptions. With these guys, I get more. I get more turnovers, but I also get more assists. Like Cade turns the ball over more than Ant. Cool. But he averages double his assists. Cade Cunningham averaged 9 assists last year. That was good for number 3.
Second in the league, I think. Third. Yeah.
So I'm like, he averaged 1 point less, and I know we're just talking numbers. Like, obviously, we could talk game and whatnot, but I'm saying like he averaged 1 point less than Ant, and he averaged double the assist, more rebounds.
First of all, just because you throwing more touchdowns does not mean you're gonna throw more interceptions. That's just not true. No. I could take care of the football, Ron, and throw a bunch of touchdowns. Tom Brady threw 50
turnovers
touchdowns.
Are careless, though. That's the difference. It's
yes, that's the problem.
If Cade was getting turnovers, because I made the argument a few years ago. If Cade was getting the turnovers where like he's trying to make something happen that is risky, but like the payoff is worth a turnover that will happen once in a while, cool. But Cade will just be dribbling the ball lackadaisically. I don't know if that's a word, and then just get poked from behind because he's just not paying attention. Or Cade will try to split something in a pick and roll that makes no sense and then dribble the ball off his foot. Like when I brought up the number of Jaylen Brown was 7th in the league in lost ball turnovers, Cade was number 1 by a significant margin.
Losing the basketball.
I want to give like Cade lost the ball, just lost ball turn, not passes, lost the ball over 100 times last year. That's ridiculous.
Now, bro, how many games are those turnovers? How many times are those kind of turnovers costing us games? Where we end up losing the game because of that happening earlier in the game or in the middle of the game. That turnover could end up leading to a momentum swing where now they go on a run. That's throwing a monkey wrench in what we're doing. You got to do a better job in taking care of basketball.
Chill.
I mean, in 6 playoff games, he lost the ball 13 times, which means twice a game he was just losing he was turning the ball over because of his dribble.
No doubt. And I do think part of that too was obviously I'll say the young thing. That's obvious, which it's not necessarily an excuse, but it's the truth. He's young and he has to get better. But also, I think part of it is kind of the LaMelo Ball thing. We're giving you the ball, you have to do everything.
I agree.
So you know what that means with the defense? We can sit back and focus on you. We're sending blitzes. We're playing you this way. We're scheming our defense literally around Cade Cunningham. Mm-hmm. So I think a year like next year where I got Karis LeVert, I got a couple other shooters to space out the floor, Duncan Robinson, I got Jaden Ivey coming back. Also, these younger players are getting better. I think that relieves a little bit of pressure off of Cade. And on top of that, too, like the biggest thing, kind of how I just said, Cade just got to get better. He got to get smarter. And part of that comes with playing 82 game seasons. Part of that comes with playing experienced teams like the Knicks, going back, watching film, seeing I can't do this. If I do this, this is what's going to happen. And just
so with that being said, Ron, okay, so with that being said, we've actually seen Ant get better. We've seen the progression of Ant. So you're telling us that Cade has to get better. We've seen Ant get better. We've seen him become a better 3-point shooter. We've actually seen him make better. We've seen this stuff going on. You telling me as a primary ball handler that my point guard has to get better. Meanwhile, he's a turnover machine and he's costing us games, particularly in the playoffs, where I'm just losing the basketball 2 times a game. I think that's way different in the plate. That's way different than a guy missing 2 or 3 shots and taking a bad shot. I think that's way different. Even though turnovers and shots can equate, but if I'm losing the basketball at that rate, Ron, that's not good.
Sure, I'm almost positive Cade is a better offensive engine than Ant. If we talk about just points generated, and we can even add in the turnovers, and for every turnover,
generated, yeah, points. For sure. In terms of points generated, I think Trey would probably be number 1, Jokic 2. Cade might be thirds because like 26 and 9
is that high? Wow, I didn't know
that. Because
26 points and 9 assists. Yeah, that's a lot, but I think I do think that's oversimplifying being an offensive engine. But I think Cade is more of an offensive engine because Ant's are off guard. He's not an offensive engine. But I don't think that's how you should compare them. But I think the issue with Cade, and it's away from like the box score stuff, he is a better passer than Ant, no question. He's a better playmaker than Ant.
I won't argue that. Yep.
But we're talking about a scorer who isn't great from 3, doesn't get to the free throw line a whole lot, and is bad at the rim. So, like, even though he only averages 1 less point than Ant, the pressure he's putting on defenses as a scorer is just way less. Does that make sense? Like, 27 to 26 makes it look comparable, but like, Cade is just not leveraging the most potent areas of the court to the same degree that Anthony Edwards does. Ant shot 40% from 3, high volume, and is also one of the most dangerous downhill players in the NBA. So, like, when you combine that, even though it's only 1 point extra, the impact on the way that tilts the defense and tilts the floor is different to Cade. Like, I watched that Knicks series. We all watched it. It got to a point where Tibbs was sending OG under screens. He was sending OG under, like, you can't do that with Anthony Edwards. Like, they were sending OG under screens and saying, basically, Cade's not going to beat us with pull-up threes. Like, that's problematic. That changes the way you can functionally operate as an offense. And that's something I don't think Ant's going to struggle with. So it's like, I think it's just different in that regard, away from the box score stuff. But I do think Cade is one of the better offensive players in the NBA. And also has the tools to be a really impactful defender. So I can see the avenue for where you can make the argument, him, Donovan Mitchell, him, Devin Booker. It's just right now, I think he's probably, based on last season, he's probably just a bit too raw as a scorer to where I can put him in that group. But if he takes the jump, if he is a better rim finisher, or he is a better 3-point shooter, then it's like the sky really is the limit. And
Mark, I don't know. Mark, did you see Cade Cunningham when he was at Oklahoma State? He wasn't that great of a rim finisher either. There, he wasn't that great.
He hasn't been for a while, and his turnover issue was real at Oklahoma State as well. Yeah,
but I think it's to one of the things I was talking about earlier with Franz and Paulo. Like, Ant shoots the 3 ball a lot better, and he finishes great going downhill at the rim. But they both have trade-offs. Like, Cade is money from that mid-range. Like, Cade
sure. If Ant had that Cade mid-range,
like Cade is money.
He does have it, Mars.
Cade,
he just doesn't go to it.
Man, not like Cade, though.
Cade's one of the best mid-range scoring guards in the league.
He falls in love with that long ball. I actually seen it. We saw it, and I know it was.
I saw it too, but not like Cade.
I know it was a small sample size.
It was like 35% from mid-range. Show I can't take flashes when the sample size is there.
I know it was
like flashes where he's making them is great, but like the reality, like let me check. Anthony Edwards last year in the regular season, he shot on all of his 2-point jump shots.
Yeah,
he shot 35%. Like I understand the flashes of that, and he has the ability to create good shots. That's the problem. He has the ability to, like, his footwork, his pivot, the way he's able to maintain balance. It's all there. The actual making of the shot is not. Now, if he adds that this year, then we're at a different level. Because Cade has the shot making ability in the middle.
And that's what I was saying, Mars. That's what I was saying to Mars about the trade-off. Like, Ant is good at the downhill stuff and the 3-point, but Cade's trade-off, and this is why it's a 1-point difference.
Cade was 50% on his 2-point.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, it's a 1-point difference. Like, in them, this is why it's a 1-point difference from 26 to 27, because Cade can live in that mid-range jump shot. Cade can post up a little bit too, where he get his post moves right.
Shot,
like, and he's a playmaker as well too. So him being able to play make open up a little bit more for him. So that's why I could get what Mars is saying about Cade not being good at the rim and all of that stuff. I get it, but there's also a trade-off with that. Like he's getting that somewhere else. So I'm not that high on Anthony Edwards being able to shoot a 3-ball better and Anthony Edwards being able to finish at the rim better.
It's just about pressure points, though. I'm not, because I agree with you. Like, Cade has the intermediate game on lock. He shot, just for numbers perspective, he shot 49% on floaters. That's elite. He shot 55% on hook shots. That's elite. He shot 50% on mid-range jump shots. That's elite. So the intermediate game is
he got it. Yeah,
like that's him, Shea, Devin Booker. Like he's up there. The issue is at the rim, he shot 50% on layups. Like, why are you shooting as well on
he's
layups
6'7".
as you are on mid-range jump shots? That's unfathomable. Like, that's unacceptable. We're talking about pull-up threes. This guy shot 33% on pull-up threes, which isn't egregious, but isn't ideal. So, like, if he's just able to capitalize on his rim attempts by being more effective, if he's 65% of the rim with this intermediate game, now we're talking about he's elevated into that tier 2 as a scorer in the NBA. Like,
Or
Shea,
just
Giannis, those
can
guys
I
are tier
also-
one.
so-
like,
so
he's
can I-
in that next group now. Or if he's just a better rim finisher. Like,
or
he
what if he up
elevates
his
into a level
volume in
that's
the
way
mid range
higher.
though, Mark? What if you up his volume in the mid range, up his volume in the post? Like maybe he doesn't have to finish as well at the rim.
I could
He
say the
just up his
same thing
volume.
with Drenchie. I could say the same thing with Anthony Edwards. The way he
There's
shoots
no
the
way
long
Ed's
ball.
gonna up
So-
his volume on the 3-point line to 20.
Okay, so let's I'm not saying that he has to up his
No way
value
he's
at the
doing
long
that.
ball line. I'm not even going there. I think that I'm solid at the long ball line. What I'm thinking about is upping my value. To your point, Mars, when you're talking about him being in the mid-range and you seeing flashes of it. Okay, well, it's obvious that I can do it, right? Because there were stretches where I saw him shoot over 45% in the mid-range. I'm thinking to myself, okay, if I could stick to that a little bit more, but he didn't. Instead, he went out to the long ball line and he improved at that more. Now, if I could get back to being more in the mid-range, in addition to keeping what I got going on at the long ball line.
Then
not
yeah,
necessarily
we're talking about a completely different player. Yeah.
This is what I'm talking about. And when I'm talking about him, this is what I'm talking about when I'm talking about him improving. Because the stuff at the rim is not even questionable. I think he's an elite finisher. He's putting guys on posters. It's not even close what he's doing as opposed to what Cade is doing at the rim. Not only that, especially inside the paint and in the mid post. With that being said, if he can take that mid-range, which I've seen flashes of it, so it's obvious that he can do it. If he can take that and be more consistent with it and maybe dumb down the long ball just a little bit. So instead of 12 threes a night, I'm shooting anywhere between 10 and I'm shooting anywhere between 8 and 10. And I'm getting in the mid-range a little bit more. Now I'm
What you said he
collapsing.
said he was gonna do.
Yeah, but that's
Shouldn't
the
get him
thing. That's the thing though, Chill. It's like with the flashes of Ant doing that, shooting the midi, that's cool, but like being decisions are over ability. Like your decision to not do it, matter if you can or not. Like if you leave it on the dresser, it can't save you. You know what I mean? So it's like you gotta do it. You know what I mean? You can't show me a flash of it for one series and then just live at the 3-point line. Then I don't care if you have the ability to do it. As far as I'm concerned, you can't do it. You know what I'm saying? For Cade though, I'm not too much concerned with the at the rim thing you were talking about though, Mars. You know what I mean? Because it's like if I got that midi,
you don't gotta get to the rim.
Go to that midi. There's no reason for me to be up there, being there with the trees. I don't need to be.
Well, he wanted the trees, by the way.
11, 7-footers. If I could stop and pop from 9 feet, live with that all day. Shoot that.
That's why I said up his volume. That's why I was saying up his volume, like either in the post or up his volume in the mid range. Then you don't have to necessarily care about
his efficiency is always going to be limited. Then, which I'm not saying is a problem. Like, I think scoring efficiency gets overblown, but if Cade's not getting to the free throw line and he's not getting consistent rim attempts with efficiency, he's never going to be the most efficient scorer. He's probably going to be always hovering below league average because 50% on mid-range shots is elite for mid-range shots. Yeah. But at the end of the day, statistically, that's only 1 point per possession. That's never going to get you into the upper echelon of efficiency, which is fine when you're the playmaker that Cade is. Plus, not to mention the mid-range stuff, to Jordan's point, in the playoffs, that's going to be your bread and butter. So like, if he has that, I don't doubt that Cade's going to be able to score the ball. That's why I think the bigger issues is always going to be the turnover stuff. But I still would like to see Cade be a better finisher. Like 50% for a guy his size, even if he's not getting there a whole lot. I'm not saying he has to get to the rim 9 times a game. That's cool. But when you get there, it's got to be more than a coin toss if you're gonna make a layup.
And like, that's the point, Mars, right there. And that's the point right there when they play against Atlanta. Okay, so he's not going to be able to consistently get by Dyson Daniels and get to the rim. And when he does get to the rim, it's obvious that he can't score as much as you would like him to do. Okay, so we're taking that aspect of the game away from him. He can get to the rim. I'm not going to argue that point, but he's not going to get to the rim nearly as much. However, so where are the other buckets going to come from? Right? How else are these guys going to be able to score at a higher rate? Because when I look at what this Atlanta team is doing, and I look at how much more offense they have, and how much better they can be with an elite distributor like Trae Young, and a guy who can stretch the defense, unlike what Cade Cunningham can do, I think that I'm looking at a completely different series.
No, stay there, chill right there. That's where it's at.
Right
that's where you pick on him at. It is the mid range. If I got a guy who's Dyson's not small though, so I don't want to say it like that. But it's gonna be, if I'm guarding a guy like Cade, it's gonna be easier for me to recover at the rim as opposed to him putting me on his hip or something, a bump or something, that little pull up 9-10 footer. That's harder to guard than him going to the rim. I mean, at the rim, I'm able to recover. I'm able to potentially get a little help from one of my bigs. You know what I mean? And that's why I'm saying he can continue with Cade's size. He can continue to live right there in the mid range. So if him getting to the rim is lowering his efficiency, then damn that efficiency. You know what I'm saying? Like, cook right there. I'm telling you, I guarantee he will cook Dyson in that mid range.
Good luck with that. Okay.
I'm just saying, when you got that size, you got those broad shoulders, it's easy for me.
But here's the thing, though. Dyson Daniels ain't a small dude. Dyson Daniels 6'7" too. Dyson Daniels is not a small dude.
And that's why it's like, okay, why take 2 more dribbles and get to the cut when I gotta give Dyson a chance to help, use his recovery and help defense. If I'm going hard, stop and pop. If I stop my feet, float up over the top of you, that's much harder to guard.
Yeah, the mid-range shot is one of the most hardest shots to guard.
That's much harder to guard.
The mid-range shot is so hard to guard.
I can appreciate if something's working, we'll live right there. All right, I can definitely get with that, Ox. But I think Dyson Daniels, being the kind of defender that he is, right, he's going to take some things away from you. And I recognize that, okay, this 14-foot line right here in the corner, not in the corner, at the elbow, that's where you're trying to get to. I know that you're trying to get to that. Dyson Daniels is a smart enough on-ball defender to know to beat you guys, because he's got great anticipatory skills. I know that I'm trying to beat you to that spot. So now you trying to get back downhill. My recovery effort is even better. So now when you're trying to get downhill and you're not as good of a finisher, I can make things really hard for you. So I can make things really hard for you at the rim. And on top of that, beating you to spots, which would explain why, in addition to the Knicks going under screens, they made it difficult on Cade at the rim. We could do the same thing in Atlanta. Can't hear you, Ron. Can't hear you, Ron.
Yo, chill. You said you can appreciate when something's working. So can I. And that's why I appreciate the last 2 people that are still remaining in the Splash Sports Survivor Contest. First off, I want to give a big and large shout out to DK Betts and a big and large shout out to Do-Rag Mike. They both picked the Green Bay Packers this week, and they both lived to survive one more week because both of those teams won. But ladies and gentlemen, I want to let you guys know that our NFL Survivor has been fired. There are 2 more people remaining, and those 2 people will get a big cash prize. But I want to let you guys know that coming your way soon, all the NBA fans, all the Players' Choice followers, subscribers, and Glazers, you guys will get an opportunity to join an NBA Survivor. And the cool thing about this is, it'll start opening night. And the cool thing about this is you guys get an opportunity to join. And the better thing about this is the money is guaranteed. You enter the contest and you can win $5K, $10K, $15K. We have a big pot of money, and it has to splash in somebody's bank account. And here's the game, y'all. This is how you survive. You pick a player every night, and the player that you pick has to score over 20 points.
Damn.
That sound fun?
Nope.
And the last person standing will get... I'll reveal that prize to you guys real soon. But just know, download the Splash Sports app, use code PLAYER in the meantime, and play their Quick Picks game. Starting next Tuesday. Once you use a player, they're gone.
Oh, man.
But next Tuesday, I'll get you guys more details before that. But in a week, y'all, just know we are getting this NBA Survivor kicked off, and the money will be guaranteed. So you better make sure you get in there, and you better be ready to pick the best player that you could possibly pick every night to score more than 20.
Ron, I'm still salty because I'm supposed to be in that football race. I'm just heartbroken. I was just heartbroken.
Oh, it's
okay. You
that shit.
You get the read back up.
It's just unbelievable, Ox. I think I was top 10. Just unbelievable. Like, there's no way you just kick me out because of a tie.
Hey man, this is America. We don't do ties.
Bullshit.
A tie is losing.
Yes.
Hey, Jordan, you'll get another shot at life. You know, hey, you get the running back this time in the NBA
completed.
Survivor. Maybe we'll do another NFL Survivor. You never know. But as of right now, shout out to the 2 people that's remaining. I can't wait to see which one of you guys will ultimately win the cash prize. But on another note, fellas, we got one more team to talk about, and this is the Miami Heat. Talk to me about the Heat, fellas. How do you guys feel about Miami?
2 more teams to talk about.
Yeah, we got 2 more. Yes, we do.
All right, well, the next one we're going to talk about is Miami Heat. We'll get to the other team.
I'm not that high on Miami, so I can be quick. I don't see the vision. I think this is a play-in team at best, 9-10. My same issues I have with Orlando. They play slow, and I don't think they have the shooters to make up for it. Tyler Hero missing a month of the season, I think is going to crater their offense. No Duncan Robinson, I think is going to hurt them a lot. I think Norman Powell is a really good off-ball player, but right now, without someone who I can trust to initiate offense consistently, I really struggle to see where their offense is going to come from. I think Bam's game has become more on the perimeter as years have gone by. He's now going to play the full-time 4, which I think is going to lean even more into the perimeter game. And the way he was getting most of his rim attempts was through Tyler Hero and Duncan Robinson, who are both not going to be there for the first month of the season. So I expect Bam to have a really inefficient scoring season. I think defensively they can be there. I think Khalil Ware as a shot blocker, Bam is one of the best defenders in the league. The fact that he didn't make all defense last year, I do think is kind of disgusting. I think Andrew Wiggins is a capable defender. I like Jovic. I don't like Norman Powell so much. And Davion, I think, speaks for himself. So defensively, I think they have all the pieces. But offensively, I just struggle to see where they're going to consistently score above 110. And that's where I kind of see the line being. So I think I'm looking at a 9-10 seed that, given hot shooting, can get themselves into the first round and then get blitzed by whoever they see in round 1. That's kind of where I see the Miami Heat being. So that's my opinion on Miami.
We've actually seen that movie before of the hot shooting. I mean, I think that only happens once in a Haley's Comet. You're not going to be able to shoot, 48% at the long ball line for a stretch like that and actually get into the playoffs. But I think, Mars, to your point, we've seen them be competent in terms of winning games with a less than offense. So I don't think that that's as much of an issue as you may think. I'm not as high on them as other people, but I am high on them. I think that Khalil Ware, his improvement this year, I love the fact that he's doing more big man things. I love the fact that both him and Bam, I think that they're going to man the paint. This defense is going to be much better than what it was last year. I think Khalil Ware is going to be much better around the rim, and he's going to provide them with an inside presence that they didn't have, that they haven't had on both the offensive and the defensive end of the floor. Turns out Tyler Hero, this injury is actually healing a lot quicker. He might be ready for opening night. That's what the word is on the street. Yeah, that's what I heard, Mars. He might be ready for opening
he went
night.
To China and got that glue.
What kind of magic surgery he get?
Yeah,
that glue?
That's what that he might be ready for opening night. I'm not sure.
AI glue.
We'll see. We'll see what it is. But even if he does, I was already anticipating him missing the first couple of weeks of the season. So I was already anticipating that, but I don't think that's big. That's that big of a deal. I think that they finish anywhere, to your point. I think they're a play-in team as well, but I think that they can make some more noise. I still think that they're a league all the way from really challenging in the East, though. That's where I think that they are.
For me, I was gonna say, I think I'm with Mars with the Miami Heat. I think it's gonna all fall down. You know what I mean? Like, I just think this is just the run is over. Like, that shit is over with. Like, you can only keep that same mentality and that Heat culture bullshit for so long until it's over with. Like, everybody ran its course. I think, it's gonna be a hard season for the Heat. I don't see no avenue of them making the playoffs. I just don't see it. Like, even in the East, that's kind of crippled a little bit. Still don't see the avenue of them making the playoffs. I just think they got too many problems, like Morris talked about, with them playing slow. They don't shoot it well. We'll have to see incredible improvement from Bam, in which I don't know how he gets to improve without some of his guys, not being there. Obviously Tyler Hero, but if Tyler Hero can play game 1, I did like Tyler Hero a little bit when he kind of got into his little lead spot where he was kind of the focal point of their offense, but I still don't think it's enough. I think it's too many holes in Tyler Hero game a little bit. So I got the Heat right outside the play-in, to be honest with you, because I think the Raptors.
You don't got to make it in the playoffs. You don't have to make it in the playoffs.
No, because I got the Raptors going in, and I even think the Wizards going to be a little bit better too, by the way. But
yes, Mars.
Three of you out here think this?
Yes,
yeah.
I think they're going to be better. I don't think they're going to be able to play with Miami, though.
I don't think they're a playoff
think-
team, but I think I
I
don't think
they
they're
gonna be better
Utah.
than what
Mars
y'all
thinks
think
they're
they are.
Utah. That's who
Nah,
Mars
they're
thinks
not
they
gonna
are.
be Utah.
I think they want to be Utah, but we're on the Heat, so I'll leave it. But
Yeah.
go ahead.
You look at that roster, you look at the talent. They got a lot of talent over there. They got a lot of
Miami?
talent over there.
Just Miami.
Yeah, Miami. If you just like so
Washington got a lot of talent too.
not as much as Miami. If you go, I'm talking about when you go off the Jovic, Norman, Bam, Khalil, Tyler Hero, Davion Mitchell, Andrew Wiggins. What'd you say? Who?
Kaspars, rookie from
Jaime.
Rookie from
Jaime.
Illinois. I love the Euro, Ron.
And Jaime Hawkins.
Jaime Hawkins, what? This is last year.
So hold on.
Richie, you and this Jaime Hawkins nonsense.
This is
No,
Stop.
I'm not high on Jaime either, but we
But
can
no,
see
check
if
me
year
out
three is
though. They
getting
got
This is
eight
last
guys
year.
that can play basketball. I'm not exactly sure how they're gonna do it, but Eric Spoelstra is. You know what I'm saying? So I'm super high on Miami. Miami's one of those teams that'll probably mess around and get the 6, 7, 8 seed. And in the playoffs, yeah, chill. They can pop Cleveland. Yeah, Ron, they can pop Atlanta. Yes, they can. They got enough players.
Yeah, Ox, they could pop the Magic.
Is
Yeah, they
this,
can pop
is
the
this
Magic
just,
for
is this
sure.
just
Yeah.
See,
is this just belief that
y'all
you've
are
seen
not.
Miami be underdogs before? Is that what this is? Is this kind of
That's
like
what
that?
this is.
Yeah, you
really
seen it
about.
with Jimmy
I
Butler.
don't see this. This is the thing, Mars. I don't do that. I don't talk about the team based on what they did 5 seasons ago. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm talking about how they're currently constructed. They got a lot of talent over there. They're going to be one of the better defenses in the NBA. I mean, when they got the defenders, you named them. They got Davion. They got Andrew Wiggins. They got Bam. They got Khalil Ware. They got a lot of defense over there. I'm expecting Jovic to start kind of coming into his own. You know what I'm saying? So I'm high on Miami and when I say high on Miami, I mean 6, 7 seed. You know what I mean? That's what I mean on high on Miami. I don't think they're sneaking to the 3 seed, 4 seed. I'm not going that far. But this is a dangerous basketball team, and Eric Spoelstra is a dangerous coach. I know y'all like, oh, we've seen this before. Eric Spoelstra, yeah, but they have talent over there too. Khalil Ware, I think is so perfect for Bam. Like him and Bam at the 5, I think is really good for each other. So, they got Precious too. And Eric Spoelstra is actually going to play Precious. You know what I'm saying? Eric Spoelstra.
Imagine that, Ox. You got a rotation player that you can actually play. Eric Spoelstra is one of those coaches that actually enjoys coaching. You know what I mean? Like Mike Tomlin said, a coach's job is to coach. He's going to figure out a way to utilize his players. Precious is a good basketball player, and he's going to be treated as a good basketball player in Miami. So y'all got to remember, like Jordan said, that he culture bullshit. No, it's not. You got to look at the players they got. Like Andrew Wiggins fits that mold. You know what I mean? Precious fits that mold. Davion fits that mold. So I'm not sleep on Miami. I think they're going to be the 3rd, maybe 2nd best team in this division, depending on how Atlanta turns out.
I think they just lost too much shooting and playmaking, in my opinion. But go ahead, Joe.
Yeah. I don't trip off the shooting. You know what I'm saying? Like, you need people to shoot the ball. Norman Powell can shoot the ball. Tyler Hero can shoot the ball. Andrew Wiggins can shoot the ball. I mean, they got shooting over there.
Consistent shooter, but I mean, they got guys who can knock a shot down. But Ox, you just brought up a really interesting point. Precious Achiuwa is one of those guys, very much like Boucher. Like if you see him on the floor, you're like, yo, we got him. Yes, he's a big deal. But I think with this Miami Heat team this season in particular, I expect some big things from Khalil Ware, and I wouldn't be surprised if they won some games this year off the strength of Khalil Ware, both on the offensive and defensive end of the floor, whether he came up with a big block, whether he ended up down the stretch coming up with some buckets, big-time rebounds. I expect him to win some games this year off the strength of Khalil Ware. I think he's going to be much better than you guys think he's going to be. I wouldn't be surprised if he won Most Improved Player this year. So, and I think Spo is going to use him in completely different sets. He's going to use him in that short roll. He's going to use him in that pick and pop. He's going to run the floor. I don't love him on the box one-on-one yet, but I think we're getting there. We're not there yet, but I think we're getting there. I'm not that high on Miami because, like I said, Ox, I think that they are a lead guard away from really challenging in the East, but they ain't as whack as people think they are neither.
Right.
They're not.
And damn all those step back threes and all that junk with Khalil left. Forget about all that. We not, like how you were saying yesterday, I don't care about all that. I'm talking. I'm curious to see how Bam is going to be using the offense with Khalil. As far as, are they going to put him in kind of you know how they get with Draymond Green when he catches the ball in that mid and throws the lob, or how Jokic catches the ball in the mid and throws the lob to Aaron Gordon, which is by design, y'all. Jokic isn't just out there like no, he's there. You know, we know what's going on already. So if they can design something like that with Bam and Khalil, I think he could be used there a lot. And Bam is good in the mid range too, y'all. So and y'all just, and I know we talked about a whole lot of coaching earlier, but coaching is very important, and they have the best coach in basketball. So let's not forget that. Let's not forget that.
Who needs to be fired and replaced? But aside from that, though,
Jordan's traumatized because they fired the Titans coach, Ron. So that's why he's been talking about people getting fired all day.
Chill. To your point, I don't necessarily want to talk about too much about Miami in terms of where they'll be seated and stuff. I do actually like their roster for what it's worth. I like Andrew Wiggins, Tyler Hero, Bam Adebayo. Those have proven to be competent players, good players on good teams in the past. But I want to talk about Khalil Ware. This is the only person I want to talk about with this Miami team. Mm-hmm. From the glimpses we've seen last year and what we're seeing in this preseason, Khalil is showing a lot of promise. And part of the reason why I don't necessarily want to talk about what they're going to do is because I actually think like it's a good chance that Miami blows it up, or they make a trade, or they go in a different direction, where I can see Bam not being there at the end of the year. I can see Tyler Hero not being there at the end of the year. I can see them both being gone. So I can see Andrew Wiggins. I can see him being gone. So I can see things changing. But one thing I do see is I think a lot of that will be predicated on Khalil Ware, because I think he's going to step in and demand a big role, because I think he's that good. So I'm excited to see exactly what he looks like this year, what his numbers turn into, if he becomes a focal point of this team. That's what I'm looking forward to most with the Miami Heat.
You talking about trades, Ron? I want to ask y'all this: if Dylan Harper shows early that he's ready, can Miami play for Foxy?
Financially, it would have to be who? Wiggins?
See ya.
I mean, if it's possible, I don't know. That would
Wiggins for Fox?
It would have to be Wiggins and things to make money match, because De'Aaron's making whatever he's making. I don't know. But
would the Spurs want to do that?
Maybe, but I don't know. If the Spurs are trying to make the playoffs, De'Aaron's in their best interest to have this year.
Yeah, but that's
going forward.
The Dylan Harper question earlier. Like, if Dylan Harper shows that he's ready and
if he's ready right away, then yeah, I'd move everything to get Dylan Harper opportunity. I just doubt that would be possible. But if he is, then yeah, I would entertain moving De'Aaron for the right price. Do I think Andrew Wiggins is the right price? Maybe not. But I would listen. And I think that would be in Miami's best interest. They need a point guard. To Chill's point. Do I think a point guard makes them contenders? No. But I think a point guard definitely elevates them to a level way higher than I have them right now.
If I'm the Spurs, y'all take De'Aaron. I need Bam.
Well, no, but
hell no, Ron.
A point guard
De'Aaron's better than Bam.
That's a fact, but you want them together, Ron. My thing, Mars, a point guard doesn't make them contenders, but Foxy makes them contenders.
I would still heavily favor Cleveland, New York, maybe Orlando and Atlanta over them. Those two for sure. I wouldn't. Cleveland and New York, I wouldn't even hesitate. I'm favoring them over the Miami Heat. Orlando and Atlanta, maybe.
Foxy, Hero, Bam, and Ware together.
So where do you have Andrew Wiggins?
You have them over the Cavs?
That five, I think they're a top 3 seed in the East.
You know what that 5 does to Cleveland? With all due respect, Chill.
Okay,
you know
I'm not arguing against it. Okay, I disagrry, but maybe we'll see it, and then I'll be like, oh.
Before you go any further, Ron, I'm headed for. Don't call me about.
This not even about. This ain't about De'Aaron. This is about how low I am on Miami is currently constructed. That I don't think there's many point guards you could add to that team, and I'm like, oh yeah, I think they're the favorites in the East. I just don't think that. I think this team is far away. You guys are higher on what they currently have. I'm not. This team is a 10 seed in my opinion. 9-10 seed. That's where I have them. I'm just not that high on them.
Ron, we
got a 37 win team.
We got Foxy for a bucket of extra crispy and a 6-pack in San Antonio. You think we just handed him over for a blimpy and a beer?
I don't, Chill, and that's why I said Bam.
Sure.
It's like that's why I said Bam. Like if I'm the Spurs, I'm not coming off Fox for anything light at all.
No,
like you gotta give me something that significantly makes Victor Wembanyama better. not the team, Victor Wembanyama better. So if Miami calls me talking about De'Aaron Fox, yeah, sure, you can have him. Give me Bam. And we going Bam and Wemby.
Which, by the way, I don't like to see Victor Wembanyama bullying people. I don't like that because that looked dangerous.
No,
we might have to change the rules.
That's what I've been talking about.
We might have to change. We might have to raise the rim a little bit higher. If I'm seeing him in the paint, bodying people, getting guys off him, the rim look like it need to be raised.
But we'll take it.
Oh, it was for sure. Just like when he shoved off, it was a travel. But they ain't call it. But let go.
That's what we've been talking. That's what I've been saying. Like you can do that.
Get off.
Like, I said so on your Twitter post yesterday. This is why he don't need to be playing shooting guard. You can do this.
Yeah, but the step back threes entertaining. I want to see step back threes.
All right, y'all. We got one more team to talk about briefly. We have the Washington Wizards, y'all. What would you guys like to talk about with the Wizards? Is it anything that you guys have?
I just want an explanation on why you guys think they're not going to suck. That's all I'm asking for.
They are going to suck. They're just going to suck a little less.
That's all, Mars.
No, okay. but Chill believes they're going to be competitive. I need enlighten me on the vision because I don't see it.
So I want to start the conversation by saying that with the rook that they got, not the rook that they got, with the vets that they have, with Middleton, I think yes, CJ and Chris Middleton, I think that's going to help because we need that vet presence in the locker room. On top of that, Chris Middleton still can play. I think he's not Chris Middleton from in terms of what Milwaukee had in being a championship contending player, a high-level player, top 20, top 25 player. No, he's not that good anymore, but he's still competitive. He can still play at a level that they can compete. Now, we bring in, you know how I feel about Trey Johnson, a guy who's able to shoot the long ball. So I got a guy in Middleton who can create shots for him because he's that kind of player where he needs a shot creator who can play with him. That works. Alex Sarr, who you know how I feel about him. I feel like Alex Sarr has gotten a little bit stronger. I feel like with him getting a little bit stronger, I think that floater in the mid-post has gotten better. On top of that, defensively, I think that they're going to be able to get some stops off the strength of him, and not just off the strength of him. I think that AJ is going to give them some help also, and I think AJ is going to give them some help on the perimeter. Bub will compete on the defensive end. Bilal, on the other hand, I haven't seen what I need to see from him in terms of improvement more than I've seen it from Bub. I've seen Bub actually improve it. It looks like it's getting better with him. With that being said, offensively, I think that this team is going to be able to score more points. I'm looking for that from Sarr. I'm looking for that from Middleton. I'm looking for that from AJ. I'm looking for that from Trey Johnson. I think that they're going to be able to score points. I also think that they're going to be, because of Sarr, I think that they're going to be better defensively. And I think this team's going to be able to compete. I don't think that they're a 35, 40-win team. No, but I think that they're going to be some games that we're surprised that they're in and they end up winning. Prime example would be last year, Mars, when you saw your Houston Rockets in a dogfight with Brooklyn. I see a lot of games like that with Washington where teams come in and they think it's a Tuesday.
Oh, they'll competitively lose. Is that what you're saying?
I think so, yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I thought you were saying like they make they might be Portland's where,
no,
they're 4 games out the play-in.
No,
I thought that's what, okay. Oh, okay.
No,
okay.
we're not doing that.
I understand the vision a bit more now. Okay.
Yes.
That's why, okay.
Not doing that.
That's what Jordan said, by the way. Jordan was saying like they're just not going to be bad. I just think this team is the worst team in the conference. That's where I'm at.
Yeah, I don't have much to say about the Wizards. Is it okay if I address something in the comments real quick? I usually don't do this, but I just want to say to TC the Don, you don't got to put me on the big screen, man. It's not all that.
Nah, cook him on the big screen. You gonna feel this team.
You on the big screen now? Yeah, you on the big screen.
Just to TC the Don, because he asked if I said that the Heat got talent, but the Bucks don't. I mean, obviously, the elephant in the room is Giannis Antetokounmpo. Yes, they have Giannis, but besides that, yes, the Heat have much, much, much more talent than the Milwaukee Bucks. Khalil Ware clears. I mean, he clears Miles Turner.
Clears Wemby too, right?
I didn't say that.
Look.
But I'm just saying, let's say, for instance, if you put, and I'm high on Bam, y'all. I like Bam a lot. But let's say if you just flip-flop 1-for-1, Bam for Giannis. Miami championship contenders. Easy. Everybody on Miami is better than everybody on Milwaukee. All right. I'm sorry. I'm even taking Davion over KPJ.
Me too.
All right, can we read super chats?
Please,
Or do you have
Ron, go
anything
ahead.
else to say about
We're done with the Wizards.
Yes.
I
We spoke about the
gave you
Wizards
my
on the Hoop
rendition.
Talk podcast.
I gave you my
Yeah,
rendition, Mars. I think that they're going to be competitive. I think that they're going to lose some games, dog fights, but I think that they're going to win some games that we expect them to lose to. And I think that they're going to.
I think they're tanking the right way. That's my.
Yeah.
I think they're tanking, very evidently tanking, but they're tanking while trying to make sure that they aren't building a losing culture in Washington.
Yeah.
That should be the goal. Developing players the right way, having them playing the game the right way with vets like Middleton and CJ. But ultimately, at the end of the day, they just aren't good enough to win more than 20 games. So they're not going to win. But as long as they're not losing while building bad habits like a Charlotte Hornets have been for the past few years, then I think they're going in the right direction. And we'll see if they can get that franchise player they're looking for. Because right now, I don't think that franchise player is on their roster.
As long as it's not Cam Boozer, please don't let Cam Boozer go to Washington. Chill. I talked about this with you a couple weeks ago. I told y'all, Jaylen Brown needs to take a month off or two. You know what I'm saying?
So Boston can get Cam Boozer?
Yes.
He doesn't have to take a month off. I'm telling you, Ox, when we get to around January and late January and they're at 500, we pulling the plug on this thing. Jason Tatum, park your ass. Mm-hmm.
Well, JT, you don't play at all. JT, you never touch the floor. Jaylen Brown,
not this season. You're not.
Yeah, let's get.
JT can come in my office every day talking about he want to play. I'm gonna just change the locks. I'm
gonna throw him a pair of boxing gloves. Like, bro, you clearly just want to fight. All right, what's wrong with you, bro? Stop playing.
You want box? Let's go outside. Come on, let's go.
Yeah,
box.
let's just take this out back.
Joe Mazzulla ain't Ime Udoka.
Yeah, let's go box. Because I'm not.
But
playing.
Yeah, he's a champion. Yeah, that's the difference.
Facts.
Either way it goes, y'all. I failed to mention that we're gonna be on playback tonight. And we're going to be watching some good preseason hoops. We got the Suns with Jalen Green and Dillon Brooks versus the Lakers with Bronny and Gabe Vincent. So y'all pull up and get some good preseason hoops tonight. 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific. You know where to find us. You know we on playback. Nice preseason hoops. We'll be there. Hope to see you.
If you're showing up to watch Jalen Green, he's not playing. I just want to make sure.
Why's he not playing?
Spoiler alert.
And he's not playing in preseason. He's got a hamstring injury.
Oh, well.
Spoiler alert.
Dylan will be there.
He should be
back. Mark Williams and Dillon Brooks.
Mars, you going to be there?
China or Japan?
I don't think Mark Williams is playing. Am I going to be there?
Follow watch and Dillon Brooks.
Okay, there you go. Pull up and see if I'm there. It'll be a surprise.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. All right, y'all. LaFlame Celtics said, "Yo, Unc, were you at Freaknik back in the day? Freaknik?"
No, I was not, but I was at the Greek picnic in Jersey. Yes, I was there. I was there for that. Mm-hmm. I was not at Freaknik though. No. But
Yo, Unc, were you at Freaknik?
But no, you know I wasn't there. I don't even think. What was that? 94?
Yo, nephew, would you have liked to be a Freaknik?
No comment, man.
Now, if you would have asked me that, would I like to been there? Yeah, hell yeah. But was I there? No, I was a baby.
All right. Pirate sent through a members chat and said a 4-8 shot chucking Butterfinger no D Munchkin MF.
Yeah, Pirate's not the biggest. Yeah, Pirate doesn't like short basketball players. That's what I've realized.
I feel you, Pirate.
All right, well, Pirate's gonna get cooked this year. You and Pirate Ox. But you know, when it happens, it happens. I won't say I told you so, I promise. Gavin G with the last super chat of the day said, crazy how one injured season puts Orlando in the convo with Dallas/Atlanta. When it fully with Detroit/Atlanta, when it fully healthy, they would have been top 4 with shit offense. They were 47 wins before.
No, they wouldn't have been the 4. They would have been the 2 seed if everybody would have been healthy last year. That team was so good last year. That's why I'm just so confused.
I think they can be really good in the regular season. I just think the playoff limitations are going to be real. Like most of everything I say about like Washington and those teams out there, I'm just talking about them just as teams. But when we get into the teams that have playoff aspirations, I view them through the playoff lens. And Orlando, for me, like I need to see that offense be a lot better before I believe in them offensively.
All right, y'all make sure to like the video. It's 12,000 people in here, and it's literally 216 likes. Y'all do us a favor.
I wish. Yeah, I wish.
12,000 people have watched the video.
Okay,
and so y'all make sure to get the likes up for real. It actually does us a big favor on YouTube. You obviously watch the video and you're watching it right now. So like it because you are watching it and watch it because you like it. Also, you guys already know the drill. We'll be back here tomorrow, same time, same place, same crew, just a better topic. Tomorrow, we'll be giving our MVP predictions. So make sure to pull up. We'll catch you then. And by the way, this show is brought to you by Splash Sports. Scan the QR code or click the link in the description. Go make your picks. Compete against fans, not the house. That's what amateurs do. Catch y'all in the winner's circle.
Eliza, the Bucks are bums. The Bucks are bums.
Happy Hanukkah.